of other things, but you are here. It shows that you want to learn something. Yeah, and today's workshop, and this workshop happens every Saturday, and once in a month, it's a 12-hour workshop also. And in today's workshop, what we are going to do? Okay, let me also say hello, hello all. Okay. So in today's workshop, we're going to learn HTML, we're going to learn CSS, we're going to learn JavaScript, and we're going to do some projects also so that we can learn it in a better way. Okay. So hello. So and let's just start it straightforward and we'll get started. And yeah, so we'll start. Okay. So yeah. So what about me? So my name is Navindu Vishwas. I'm a corporate trainer, React.js teacher, Next.js and React.js expert, and I do some freelancing, web development also by Kasek. So yeah, so we've started. So and I'm the founder and teacher of at TWD, which is this channel, YouTube channel in which you are working. So I have been working here for since 2021. It's 1 year and 9 months as it is showing, and author also YouTuber because you're watching this on YouTube. But I have 16 years of IT experience. I worked in companies like InnoMinds, where I was an associate architect. I have worked in IBM. Most of you know about it. IBM, Oracle, JP Morgan, you name it. I worked in pretty big companies in this world. So that is I worked, and since like 2021, I have my own company. Okay, so that is there. We do mainly into trainings, but we do development also. So means freelance development. So we're mainly do training, and we have our courses, always courses going on, and all those things are there. And we have a full-fledged YouTube channel also in which you can learn all the things regarding web development. So in YouTube we teach for free, but we have our own courses also which keeps on running in every 1 or 2 months. We have a current next batch coming on 5th June. Have a batch which is currently going on. So all those things are there. Okay. Thanks, Don. Thanks. Okay, so this is about me, and this is our company. So and we have a website also. I will show it later on. So this is our company, and we are a registered company in Bangalore. So you'll get a nice certificate from us. As told earlier that this is a certification, you'll get a nice participation certificate. And how you will get the participation certificate? You have to fill some attendance form. Someone is asking how I will get the certificate. So yeah, you have to fill the attendance form. So this attendance form will be shared in this live chat. We'll share this attendance form. So in the 4-hour workshop, there will be two attendance forms. One will be given right now, maybe 3:15. It is IST. It's 3:15. Maybe in the next 15-20 minutes, we'll give it. And then second attendance form will be given towards the end. Okay. So in this attendance form, you have to give your valid email address, because we are going to send you the certificate by Sunday night. Like today is Saturday. Sunday night we're going to send. Then your name you have to give, because what you want on the certificate. Then, as we're doing so much, we want you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, which you are watching this thing right now. Maybe you're watching from somewhere else also. Please do come to our YouTube channel and please do subscribe to it. So please mention your username. And we have a very good Instagram account also, in which we talk all developer things. So go and subscribe to that also. Your current role, and if possible, your LinkedIn profile. If you give a LinkedIn profile, it is a very good thing. If you don't have a LinkedIn profile, mention I don't have. Okay, so again, the second attendance is also like that only. Okay, so that is there. And hi everyone. So that is there. And okay, so PHP doesn't have a much future, although Laravel is something which you should look out for, the framework of Laravel. So it is going somewhere, but only somewhere. Like, it's still not picked up that much by the industry. So PHP, I don't see a very bright future for PHP. That's a good question. I don't have an Instagram. Okay, so if you don't have Instagram, then you might have watched it on the like. Okay, mention you don't have Instagram. Not an issue. So that is there. And now, but for sure you'll have a YouTube channel, a YouTube link. Okay, because you're watching it on YouTube. Okay, so even before starting, so I will tell like what is there. So like there are something like three secrets to become a developer, whether you're from an IT background or non-IT background. And one thing I want to tell, like today I was telling someone that most of our students are someone having who are having like around 5 years of gap. Most of the people whom we have teached are more than 5 years of gap. Okay, so this is there, and which language is best? This is the language which is the best. Okay, so this is the one which we have the most number of jobs on the planet right now, and whether ChatGPT comes or something comes and all the things, uh, ChatGPT will definitely eat up most of the jobs, but not a developer job. Okay, so that is there. Python is okay, but Python also doesn't have that level of job as HTML, CSS, and JavaScript and this thing. Okay, React.js. So these are the four things. Even if this is there in your resume, it will give you a job for sure. HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and React, because all the things which you're seeing right now, like all the tabs which are open right now, they're used, they are created using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript only. So the world have moved to the web app like 10 years back. So some of you are quite might be young, and you might even don't recognize that world, in which there at one time we used to have a lot of desktop apps, but nowadays everything is like web app. This is a Google form. So what was a replace? There was no replacement for it. Like I work mostly on Google Docs. I work mostly on this will be connected to Google Sheet. All of these things are online. So all of these things are created using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript only, because the browser cannot understand anything else. HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, it doesn't understand anything else. All the web apps, big web apps which you see, all these crazy things which I can do, like this is not an easy thing which I can do. This is like moving this thing and all these things. These are a front end app, so everything is like a front end heavy. So these are everything is front end nowadays. So if you're a small startup, if you're corporate and corporate companies, and all those things are there, everybody creates web apps only nowadays. Nobody creates desktop app. So that is their HTML, CSS, and JavaScript are used on the front end, and back end also JavaScript is there. So like Don was talking about Python. So Python is used for machine learning and all those things. It is okay, but all this other things are the most number of things are used in React.js only. Although whatever have site like the front end is created in React.js. This is a nice site which I found, like in which this thing is known as mind map, which you can do like this and this. So this thing is created in React.js. This thing is created in React.js. The front end is created in React.js. This thing is created in React.js. Instagram and this LinkedIn is created in React.js. Uh, Facebook is created in React.js. In fact, Facebook is the owner of React.js. Facebook is created in React.js. Instagram is created in React.js. Everything on the planet which you can think of, it is in React.js only. Okay, so that is there, and so that is okay. So but this all the things, like whatever have Google to it, it has got Angular to it. But Angular is also a JavaScript framework, which is, you need HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So you learn this thing HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, your chances of getting and but you cannot get a job with HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. You have to know React.js, and React.js have the most number of jobs in comparison with Angular and other framework, which is just C Sharp. C++ was actually used 20 years back. Sorry, Sunil, like 20 years back it was used. So nobody uses C++ now. Like we have to go back 20 years to get anything. C++ nobody uses. Okay, 20 years back it was used, but sorry to say, like Indian colleges still teaches C++, and that's a mistake from the government, from the institutes and all. Sorry, nobody uses C++. It's also known as a dinosaur language. Dinosaur are dead. C++ is also dead. Okay, as simple as that. So C++ nobody uses. Okay, it's a dinosaur language. So nobody uses dinosaurs languages anymore. So if you want a job, C++ is nothing. Okay, so that is there. You need to know React.js. You do your own thing and all. If you like think like your college is saying right, then college would be able to give you a job. But colleges are not able to give you a job. Okay, that's the problem. That's why you are here now. If a college would be able to give you a job, you'll not be here. Okay, so because colleges, like not only in India, like we say that okay, India might be very like teaching like this. Okay, no, not only in India, like even the US they are teaching this thing. And I have students from the US also learning in the morning. I have batches from US. I take batches from the US in the morning. So they also come to learn this thing, because when they go there in the US is the like capital of like development and all. They also have jobs in these things only. There is no C#.NET. There is no jobs like Python and on Python and all. Very less jobs are there. Python all jobs are there. If you become a data scientist needs a PhD. ChatGPT and all we are seeing, but nobody is going to take you as a ChatGPT developer. Nobody is going to take you at. Okay, maybe you can get a data analyst job, but not more than that. You need to be a PhD for that. Okay, that is there. No C#, no Python, nothing, and all these things about. Okay, so that is there, and I cannot talk too much about like this is actually this is not a career session, so we cannot talk more about it. You can learn talk to me there, because those who don't know, like this is not a this is mainly teaching you all estimates, this is JavaScript and React. Maybe I can tell a bit about it, but as I've told, this is not a career session. This is mainly helping you to get it. So recession is there or recession is there, it doesn't matter. Jobs will be there. So recession is a good thing if you are a fresher and all. Because recession, they're firing the managers. If you don't know, in recession, they are firing the managers. Who are managers? Who have 10 plus years of experience, who don't know anything, who don't know coding, mainly who don't know coding. They're firing those in an IT company, they're firing the people who are not doing IT. That is a recession. So if you are doing IT, there are a lot of jobs still. And even if the recession is there, there are a lot of jobs for freshers or someone else. Okay. So that is there. So there's no recession or something for like most of the people, they're not some managers here. Okay. So I know most of you might be students or something. Okay. So there is no recession for you. Recession is only for experienced people who have more than 10 years of experience. No recession for you people. Okay. So, and there is no recession in India, as you all know. So there are some three secrets which you should know to get into IT domain. Like in this thing, it is much more important. Okay, in this scenario, it is much more important to for you to know. And maybe recession is there because I teach a lot of corporate also, and they also say that nowadays you should be good, then only you can get. And there is some way to show that you are good, and that way is like you should do some networking. You should do some networking. Without networking in this scenario, like how will a person knows is there a job? You should do some networking. Okay, so this networking, yeah, it is till 7 p.m. So this networking should be done on LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Someone was telling that don't have an Instagram, get an Instagram. So, see, don't see the dancing videos. See some development videos. Okay, development shorts. So LinkedIn, Twitter, and all these things. You should do some networking. You should like showcase your work. Okay, I'll tell what showcase your work means. You should do some daily actions, like code 2 hours daily. So I was talking to someone and he was telling that nowadays, like nobody wants to do all the hard work. So if you people don't do the hard work, then Chat GPT will do the hard work. Okay. If you people don't want to do people say that they want a job, but they don't want to put the hard work. See, coding jobs are not that easy. You have to do a hard work. Without hard work, there is no coding job. Okay, you can do some repetitive works, and if you do some repetitive works, that is for sure in next 1 or 2 years that repetitive works will be taken by Chat GPT. So in the next 2 years in this planet, there will only one kind of job, which is a developer job. Everybody will be replaced, like lawyers, doctors are already getting replaced. Slowly everybody will getting replaced, only the developers will be there. So if you want to be there, if you want to have a job in the future, you have to be a developer. No other choices will be given to you. All the repetitive works which most people do will be going to ChatGPT, will be going to machines. Okay, so the age of machines have come. So, but the developers are the one who are running those machines. So developer job will be there. Machines are not able to code yet. ChatGPT only gives whatever there is in the internet. Okay, so machines cannot code till now. Maybe in the future they can, but till now, developers are the one who are running the show. So some you need to code 2 hours. You take help from ChatGPT, it is okay. But you should know what is HTML, what is CSS, what is React. Okay, so all those things you should know. You have to code 2 hours. Okay, and then you have to do some challenges. There are some 100 days of code challenges and 100 days of project challenges. You can check it out. What are these challenges? And then you can find it out. Okay, so that is there. And as I've told, this is not a career counseling session mainly. we are going to do some real thing. Like we are going to learn HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and React. If you want to learn more about like maybe one sec, if you want to uh, learn like one sec. Okay. So one sec. So let me also give some. So if you want to ask something more to me or something, so maybe I will give you WhatsApp group link. You can join. So you can ask something there, like some whatever this all these questions you are asking, you can ask there. So join the so you can join the WhatsApp group. I guess. Okay. So that is it. So let us get started with the HTML and one sec. Okay. So let's get started with HTML and let me give the first attendance form. And the people who have filled both the certificates, only they will get it. Okay. So first attendance form has been shared. So please fill the first attendance form. And okay, so that is it. Please fill the first attendance form. And yeah, so we are going to start now. I have given the first attendance form in the link you can get from the live chat. Link you can get from the live chat and fill the attendance form. I've also given the attendance form here, so you can also fill it from the screen, but it's better to fill it from the your chat because there is a link there in the chat. There is a link. Please do fill it and let's get started. Let's started with the HTML. Okay, so even before starting with HTML, HTML is the building block. HTML is used to create the structure of a website. It is required. So even before starting, what we are going to do, we are going to install, you need to have something like only requirement for HTML, CSS, and JavaScript is that you should have VS Code installed. Okay, so VS Code is a very lightweight code editor from Microsoft, which you can install, and it's a totally free to use. You can download it from Mac, and yes, you require a laptop or a computer to do programming with. Like mobile, it will be very difficult to do. So there are ways to do that. Do it on a mobile. Like there are some code editors and all are there, but I will I still tell like please do get a laptop. It is much more better, and you can get a very cheap laptop also. It is more than sufficient. 10,000 rupees second hand laptop is more than sufficient to do web development. It doesn't require a very high end thing. So you because this VS Code is very lightweight code editor, you go and download this VS Code, and then download this VS Code. It will be where is it? Okay, so it will be shown like this. The VS Code will be shown like this. Okay, so then what you need to do to start, what we need to do is we'll create a like we'll see the most easy way. So what we are going to do, we are going to create a new folder called HTML here, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this and drag it and put it here. Drag it and put it here. Then maybe I'll keep this on side. Yeah. So we have this thing and I put it on one side, and this HTML folders I have created. This HTML folder I have created. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to click here, this new file, and I will write a index.html first. Index.html I will create, and then to have some space, I will click here so that this thing goes away. So click it and this will go away. And now this index.html is there. So why did I told to do it on VS Code and not doing it through some notepad or something like that. So I told to do it through VS Code because VS Code have some features. Some features it has got. So like this, if I do a not, so everything have some basic structure. Like if I do some not and if I do press the tab here, so again I'll do it not and tab I'll do. It will create the basic structure for me. Basic structure for me, it will be created. And let me explain the basic structure. So this is a benefit of VS Code. You don't need to write this basic skeleton of an HTML. And HTML is actually not a programming language exactly. It's like templating language, and it's very easy in comparison to JavaScript and all. And we're going to teach JavaScript also, but it is quite easier in comparison to JavaScript. Okay, so this there is something like this. It starts with this doc type HTML. So what is this doc type HTML? This doc type HTML means this HTML version 5. Okay, HTML version 5. HTML was released in the year 2013. So not in 2013, in 1993, and in the year 2015 the version 5 was released. So it tells that it is that. And HTML is all this like tags are like this greater than and less than sign. Okay, so then the first thing which is this HTML is there, which is like it is getting started here and ending here. Okay, so HTML is like starting and ending here. Lang English means language is English, and then some this head and body are there. So head and body are the important thing. So HTML is wrapping. So if something is starting like this, it have to end with this backslash, starting and ending, starting and ending, starting and ending. So head part is something which contains the thing related to the head. If you see in any website, this is the head part. Okay, this will be the head part will be there, and this document it is showing, and I can write here HTML. So I'm going to see how to see this thing. And this meta is something which is related to your SEO of a website, search engine optimization, and it is mainly used by your digital marketing people. So we are not going to learn much about it because I also don't know much about it, because they give certain keywords here so that your website can rank more on Google and all those things. And you can remove it also for this, like we are anyways not going to host it on GoDaddy and all. And even you host it, we don't know that much digital marketing, but digital marketer put the keywords here, and I can remove it right now to keep it simple. So this title is there, and then I will have some tags which are known as like heading tags. Okay, heading tags. And in HTML, inside this body, I've written a heading tag, and then I'll do a control and backslash. Control and backslash is like a comment. Control and backslash is a comment, so that it will not be shown. We are going to soon see that it will not be shown in the this our browser. So after this, I'll have a h1, and I write heading 1, and then how many heading tags are there? H1, H2, because one of the students was asking me this H1, H4, H5, and H6. Actually, there are heading tags till H6 only, and if you give H7, you'll see nothing will happen. Okay, one second. H7, nothing will happen because there is only till H6. Okay, so heading 2, 3, 4, 5. So heading tags are something like, if you can see in this site also, this is a H1, this is a H3, something like this. Okay, so that is there, and if I save it, but where do I see it? Where do I see it? So I have to see it like this. HTML is there. I'll click this folder. Index.html is there. So if I double click it, it will open it in a browser. Okay, it will open it in a browser, and I do not and tab you have to press. Okay, not and tab, not and tab. Okay, so this index.html is there. This index.html, I will right click and open with whatever the browsers are there. You can open with the default. By default, it is showing Safari. I don't want to open it in Safari. I want to open it with this Firefox Developer Edition. So I've opened it there. Yeah. Okay, so as I told, it will show like this. See this heading tag which I have written, it is not showing, it is a comment. And this heading 7, there is no S7. Actually, there is only, so I'll remove it anyways. Okay, so there is no S7, there is only from heading 1 to heading 6 of different sizes. There is no S7. But I've removed it, removed the S7, but still it is showing. What is the issue? Why it is still showing? And even if I save, it is still showing. Because in because when we develop a code in VS Code, it will be shown in the output only if I refresh it, then it will be shown. But if I don't like this thing, if you like it, it is okay. But I don't like it. Like every time I change something, I have to do their refresh it. So VS Code comes with a lot of like nice this thing, like these are called extensions which talented developers have added in VS Code. VS Code is like you can add some small code in programs in VS Code which will add functionality to it. Okay, like this you might have been seeing, like I was this color, it is been shown because I have some extension installed which is known as indent rainbow, and this auto rename. So I was able to, if I change something here, like you'll see that it is automatically changing to something else. This because I have this auto rename also. But what I'm telling here, that you, there are a lot of things which you can install, but I was telling here is something known as a live server. Live, you do, you'll have this something known as a live server. So this is a very important extension. And to add an extension, you just have to go here and do a install here, and it will be added. Okay, and it will maybe it will ask you to restart the VS Code, but not more than that. You just have to add it. And now when I add it, so what is the benefit of it? Okay, so the benefit of it is like uh, first I have to start it. So how do I start it? Okay, so I have to right click it and open with live server, or there will be something like go live with come here. Better to go here and open with live server. Then yes, I will go here and then okay. So that is there, and it opened in my some other thing. So it opened in something like this. Okay. So like this is open, and this is like some website or something which you're going to see like 127. It's actually local. So what's the benefit of this? So the benefit of this is that if I go here and I will see the next tag also. Like H1, there is one more tag which is known as a paragraph tag. We're going to see that also. So let us see that paragraph tag. Yeah. Paragraph tag is, as the name says, it's the P. You can do P, and inside P, maybe I will add something. So this all are a paragraph. Maybe I will add this thing, and I will come here, and I will add this thing in the paragraph. So the moment I save it, it is automatically, this browser was automatically refreshed, and I got the latest thing. But if I come here back when I manually opened it, I will, even if whenever I refresh it, then only it will come. So we are not going to use this thing. We are going to use this live server from now. Okay, so this is there. And one more thing in this paragraph tag, which I'm going to say, there is one more kind of one more thing I want to say. And this heading tag and paragraph tags are known as block level element because they takes their own space. Okay, so another kind of paragraph is there, which is not another kind of paragraph. Another, see here what I did, like I took the data from somewhere. So you will not able to take data from anywhere, and in projects which we do, like everything is like you cannot take data from anywhere, like it is like plagiarism, it is known as. So sometimes clients also don't give the data. So in that time, what we are going to do, we want some placeholder text. So one thing is that you do like this, but this is not a good thing. This will not look good. Okay, so there is something known as lorem ipsum. Lorem ipsum text, which is actually a very old text and which is inbuilt in VS Code. You write LOREM and then press a tab. It will create some text for you. Save it, and it will be shown like this. it is not a real text, but if you see at one glance, it will seem like some text is there. Actually, this text is 200 years old. This was used in the printing press when it was just invented. At that time, it was used in newspapers also to see that whether the print is coming correct or not. So this is known as a lorem ipsum. Again, it is inbuilt in the VS Code. You write LOREM and then you can press the tab, it will come. So this is the lorem ipsum. Okay, so that is like this. And so this is the complete thing which is there, heading tag and paragraph tag. Okay, and heading tag and paragraph tag are also known as block level element. So why they are known as block level element? Because see, this heading 2 could have come here, heading 3, 4, 5, 6, they could have come in the same line, but they are coming in different line. Similarly, this paragraph, second paragraph could have started from here, but it is starting from the next line and some space is there, because they are known as block level element. Okay, so and there is no tag like S7. Okay, there is no S7 tag is there, only H1 to S6 is there. So that is there. I was just writing it because one student asked me why S7 is not, because that is not created, that is not, no S7 tag is there. So because the creator didn't create it like this. And then the next tag which we are going to learn, HTML is all about learning about different tags, and we teach all the important tags. The next tag which we are going to learn is known as a link tag or the anchor tag. Okay, or the anchor tag. And it is also very common tag. If I do A, this will come. And I will have two anchors tag for a reason. And in this anchor tag, this what you are seeing, this is known as the attribute. href equal to something which is an attribute. And here, what we are going to do is like give some site, maybe like pwd quotes, and okay, and this is one of our site, pwd.codes. So go here in the href, I'll put this thing. So href you can put any site, your site also, a YouTube channel also, all those things we can put. And like maybe in this second one, I will put the YouTube channel, and here I will write pwd site, and here I will write pwd YT. And I will have one more thing here, which is like one more target equal to underscore blank. So I'll have this target equal to underscore blank also. I'll save it. And then TWD site and TWD YT are showing. Okay, so these two things are being shown. Now, what I am going to do here, like so these are like anchor tags, and these are something which is very common. You must have seen it in all the sites. But the thing is that my website is very ugly, because websites are made beautiful with CSS, which you are going to learn next. With HTML, you only get the structure, and nowadays there is no website like which is possible without CSS. Earlier there were. So TWD site and TWD YT are coming one after the another. But the thing is that, like if I do a control C and a control V, I'll do two times. This is coming in the same line. So this anchor tag are also known as inline element. They are also known as inline element for this reason, because all the anchor tags will come in the same line. Not like a heading tag, not like a paragraph tag. It will come in a different. It will come in the same. Okay. So I will remove this thing. Okay. So there are more than 20. Let me see whether you all have filled the attendance form or not. Please fill the attendance form. If you are not filled it, it is there. Please fill the attendance form. It is mandatory. Okay, so this I have written href TWD site, and href is like this. Okay, so what is the target to blank? First, let us see. Like all this styling are also done because it's the anchor tag. So what are these anchor tags? If you click here, it will take me to this site. Click here, it will take me to this site. But the problem, and yes, we have a 12-hour bootcamp also, which happens like previous week it happened. It happens only once in a month. This is a very heavy bootcamp in which you teach everything. Okay, so that is there, and some courses of our, and all those things are there in the site. You can see your schedules also. But there is a problem with like using anchor tag like this. Okay, the problem is that when I click here, it will open in the same tab, and here in the second thing in which I have TWYT, I have a target equal to underscore blank. This is a keyword target equal to underscore blank. So when I click here, see, it is not opening here. It is opening in a different site. Okay. So, and if you're not subscribed yet, please do hit the subscription button. Okay. So it is opening in a different different tab, which is somehow beneficial. You might have seen that you click on the some YouTube comment like that. Right now we have something, you click there, it will take you in a different, if you're watching it from a desktop or a laptop, you see that if you click on that comment, it will open it in a new tab, because the YouTube engineers also created it like that, with target equal to underscore blank, so that it can open it like this. Any site doesn't want you to get away from there, because they earn in that way only. Okay, so that is it. So this is like the anchor tag. So the next tag which we are going to learn is like the list tag. So list tag like this, and then I will have a unordered list, and then list item, and item one. I will save it. So unordered list, US means unordered list, and li means list item. Li means list item, and I've given 1 2 3 4 5, so it will be like this. Okay, so that is there. And okay, so this dots are falling. Okay, and like a UL, we have a OL also. OL means ordered list. In the OL, if I have this thing 1 2 3 4 5, I'll save it. So this 1 2 3 4 5, it will come like this, and the numbers will come here. Okay, 1 2 3 4 5, the numbers will come. So this is like this. It is there. Okay, so this UL and OL. Okay, so these two things are there. So the next thing which we are going to learn is like the main thing, which is known as a form tag. So we want to learn about form tag. Okay, but before going learning about the form tag, what we are going to learn. Okay, and let me do one thing. Let me remove this thing. Okay, so before going to the form tag, we are going to learn about two more things, which is known as, one is known as a HR. HR means horizontal loop. What it will do, it will create a line. And another thing which we are going to create is a BR. BR means break row. It will have a space BR. So HR and BR will be there. And then again, I go here and do a HR and BR. Again, this thing will be created. Now we'll learn about the form. Okay, we'll learn about the form. Form tags. Yes, form tags are something which is very important, because form tags are the way in which you take the data from the user. So in all the other programming language also, you take the data from somewhere. But HTML, CSS, JavaScript works on the browser. Browser doesn't understand anything. There are a lot of ways to create the backend, but in the front end, like there is only React, Angular, and Vue.js. Like big things you create it with these things only, and they are like HTML. They are through HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So in the front end, there is only HTML, CSS, and JavaScript only. Backend, you can learn a lot of other languages. Okay, so this form we takes like the input through something at forms, and forms have something known as the input box, which you all might have seen. Like it is not possible that you have not seen. Like when you go to Facebook for the first time, you have to enter your name, age, gender, date of birth, and some check boxes and all those things. So those are created inside a form through different tags. Form is not one or two tags. Forms have a lot of tags, and we're going to learn about that. We'll create a Facebook kind of a thing, like a tag and all. So let us do that. And forms generally have input type, something like input type text. Okay, input type text it has got, and this input type text is there. It will create a space. You're going to see what it will create. This input boxes comes always in pair with a label. Label for is coming. For I will give it as name, and ID I will give it as name, and There's another thing which is known as the name. Why it is used for, I will tell soon. So name, and exact. So I will have one more here. Okay. In the label, you also have to write something. Name like this. Then I'll have one more. Age, 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 and age value, and take it. See now this input type text, because of this line, this is coming, and because of this line, this is coming, and because of this a label age is coming, and because of this name is coming. So here in the input type text, I can write anything, and input type age, I can write anything like this. And then what I can do, I can, okay, no, there is no input. Okay, I will make it not input type text, I will make it input type number. Actually, there is one thing known as number, my bad. So input type number, I have made it. So now I can write something, and then you saw that suddenly I got this thing, and I can increase it by here. Okay, so like this I can do it. So this is like the input types. Okay, and the thing here is another one thing to notice is that here everything is an inline element. See, everything is coming in one line. Label input, and they're coming in it one line. So I want them to come in different lines. So the best way to do it is the BR break row. It will come in the next line. I want some more space, so another BR break row, one more space. Okay, so like this, these two things are there. Now we're going to see something more, because there are a lot of things which are there in the form, and forms are used to take the user data, and then it is, what do we do when you fill a Facebook form and click on the submit? That data is taken from there and sent to the backend, and that is the whole thing which which we teach. We even teach the backend with Node.js, but and that is on the channel also. Okay, so that is what the thing, the complete process then. But we are right now, we cannot learn the complete process and all. So we are learning only this front end part and all those things, and how it goes and all. For that, at least we need to learn a bit of JavaScript, how it goes to the backend. Okay. So that is there, but we are going to see some part of it. So these two things we have seen, input type, this we are going to see more of them. So the more of them means more type of input boxes. So like this, the next thing which we are going to see, a text area. So what is the text area used for? Text area, let me do it first. MESSAG message. Okay, so that is there, and okay, I forgot to tell something, I will tell soon. Where it's a text area, and name is message, and ID is message, and calls and rows simultaneously. So one more thing which I forgot to tell. Okay, and this text area is actually, it is used for taking the multiple line input from the user. And where it is used, this thing is used when you go to Facebook and you click on the this type of text area is there, which is made very good with the CSS, and you click here and put some post there, and all the social media have this text area, very nice text area to have. Okay, as I told, I forgot to tell one thing. What is this like in the label and input? Like, what are these things? Okay, this label have some attribute known as for. So what is this attribute of for? So you can see in this input there is a attribute of ID. So for an ID should always be same, because that is how the computer or the HTML compiler understand that they are a pair. Label and input are always a pair. So label and input, or label or text area, they are always a pair. So this is how they are a pair. It will come to know. For an ID should be same, and the name equal to something I have written. This we are going to see that this is the way in which it will be sent to the backend. Name equal to something, it will be done, and this text area is like this. And one more thing which in text area I want to tell, that this text area is like not a self-closing. Some of the tags are self-closing, like BR, HR, input, but this is needed to be there. Someone is asking something, can I buy your full stack development course from your website? Now, I will give you the link for that. Okay, from the website, it is, I think it is not working. I will give you the link for that towards the end. We are going to give you the link, or you join the WhatsApp group. Okay, so I will give the link. maybe you're asking it right now, so I will provide it right now also. So we have a full stack course also. So one sec, I will give the link and then we'll start. So our next batch is starting from actually 5th June. Okay. So that is there. You can check it out. So yeah, so this is the next batch. You can the site, I think it is not updated. So that is there. And so this is the text area in which I've given the name and ID. So the next thing which we are going to learn is the drop down. And drop down is something which is like very, very popular in almost every places. So we'll go here and do a BR and a BR, and then I will have a label and for color and color, then select and name is color and ID is color, and then we have a option. Option is there and value is red. And here I'll do a red. Maybe I'll add some emoji. So you can add some emoji also, red like this. Green, green color, blue, blue color, and color. So if I save it, see this drop down which is there. So maybe I should have some space here. So this drop down, if you can see this drop down is there, and select a statement. Inside the select statement, the option is there, and option have something as value also. As I've told, and I will show that thing also. The name will be going to the backend. Name equal to something. So name equal to red, green, blue, or purple will go. So I show that emoji because in the backend, you don't want backend database. You don't want to send this name equal to red color emoji like this. You don't want to send it like this. Okay, you don't want to send it like this. Okay, because backend what it will understand. So that value, and value is something which is passed, not this red color, blue color, and all these things. It will not be passed like this. Okay, so that is there. Now we have not completed everything. So form is a bit more, because when you fill some form in Facebook also, there is a lot of fields which comes. So the next fields which we are going to learn is known as a checkbox, which is again a very common field. So BR and a BR I'll do, and then I will have a H for what do you own, I will have, and then input type checkbox and name equal to vehicle 1 and ID equal to bike and value equal to bike, and come here and do a label here, and for it is like a ID for is bike. For an ID should always be same. I have this bike, and this will be vehicle 2 or 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 right. So like these things we have. So what do you own? Bike and car. This okay. One more thing is that input can come before the label. It is and the order is not required. But label is mainly also used to have the text also. Bike and car we can have like checkbox and checkbox. Bike and car we can have, and checkboxes you all might have used it like checkboxes. We can check both of the things. Okay, this is like a checkbox. Okay, and here the vehicle 1 and vehicle 2 will go as separate. Vehicle 1 and vehicle 2 will go separately. Okay, they are separate things, and it will go like this, separate to the backend, which you're going to soon see. Now the next thing which we are going to learn is the here, here, and show gender, because you have to fill something like this gender also. Then we have a input. In Facebook, you definitely put the gender. So input type is radio. And with the radio, what happens? You can only fill one of them. Okay. And then name equal to gender, and value equal to male, and ID equal to male, ID, yeah, and label male, male, this gender female, 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 the other, the save it. Okay, so we'll have something like this. Gender is like male, female, and other, and I can select any one of them, not all of them, but any one of them. I can select. Okay, so this is there. Now, how do we like submit this thing? So we have done this thing like a Facebook kind of a form, but how do we submit this thing? Submit this thing. We will have a button. But this is a special kind of a button, SUBMIT. In this button, what we'll have inside a form, there is a special kind of button in which we have write type equal to SUBMIT. Because there is another kind of a button also. I will write a button tag which doesn't have the type sum, which is a normal button. Let's show the difference button of SUBMIT. You'll not see the difference here. Like the moment I create both of them, you'll not see much difference here, but there is a way the difference is there actually. Okay, so I will select some of these things. This is good, is there. And now, see, if I click here, nothing is happening because all the functionality needed to be given from JavaScript. But if I click here, there will be one thing which will happen. Closely watch this reload and this thing. Okay, so I've selected all these things and I will do a submit. And now what will happen? It submitted something, and again it made it all like it deleted all this thing because the page was refreshed. It submitted something. What did it submit it? Control S, and let us see what it submitted actually. So if you can see, and this is the way it sent it to the backend. If you can see, the name equal to whatever I have written here. So name is actually taken from here. This name equal to Naveen. Then this age is taken from age equal to 40. It is taking. Then this message is taking. This is some. This is how it gives the spaces and all. Then color. So one more thing in this drop down select thing, the color is like this, and color it has taken blue, not this blue color emoji thing. Okay, color blue because it's a plain text, it cannot send all those things. Vehicle 1 and vehicle 2 are taken differently for the checkbox, and for the radio it is taken like this. Okay, so this is all which is done. So I will control and backslash, I'll save it. So this is done like this, and now we are done with this form. So the last thing which we are going to do is, right, so the last thing, yeah, so last thing which we are going to do is the images. Okay, so images which we are going to do, and after that we're going to start with the CSS. So I have some here, and I am image tag, I will write control backslash, and there are actually two way to show images. So anyways, we have to get the image. So unsplash.com, and I go to unsplash.com because from here you can get free royalty free images. I cannot go to the YouTube and get it because they are not free. So this one I'll take, and yeah. So I will, okay, this one I'll take, and I will do a download, but I will download a medium version. So this is one way to do it. Okay. And we are going to, I'm going to show how to do it. And I want to open something else also. Maybe this one I'll open. Right. And there is, okay. So let me say, show how to do it first. First is that I can put it here also, but it's better to create a new folder here called images. And the best way to do it the first way, which I'm going to type. So first image, I have actually downloaded it. So let me go to the download, and I have downloaded this, and this is like what is it? Like this, I'll do, and then I will click it and I will drag it here in the images, and it's a mountain. Okay. So that is it. And so what I'm going to do in this image tag, ing, I will do press the tab to complete it. In the source, you have to give the exact path of it. So images slash whatever is the, what was the name? Hash. So this things you have to do. And in the alt, you have to give what this image was all about. Why we are going to give this, I'm going to type. So hill, it was a hill image. And the second image, the second way to take an image is like uh, img src, go and right click and copy image link. Copy image link, and the source you go and paste it. Copy image link. And in this alt, I think it's a lizard, something like this. So I will put that thing, and then I will save it. Now the first way is much more better because the image link can change. If you go to this HTML, you're going to see this. Okay, both of the images have been shown, and actually both of them are quite huge. So first one is then also okay, but I don't want to scroll. Vertical scroll is like this. This tank kind of horizontal scroll is never good. So what I can do, I can limit the width of it. Width I have to limit. There are not many things in HTML because most of the things are there in CSS only. So with I will make it as maybe as 400, and maybe I will make this with also as 400. I'll save it, and both of them are been shown. So 400 is quite small, so they're showing one after the another. Again, image tag is also inline depending upon what it is. So both of them have been shown, but now we're done. This is the two ways to show the image. But what is this alt which I have taken? Alt is something which will be shown if for some reason the image I am not able to show the image tag. And what is the reason? Maybe the internet goes away, or maybe like the developer might have given something wrong. I cannot close my internet, but sometimes it happens with everyone because in India, sometimes at some places the internet is not there. And splash the I will do and save it. Now see this lizard has been created. Like it's been, you can see this lizard thing. Actually, it behaves a bit different in different browsers also. I'm using Firefox, which most of you might not be using. Most of you might be using the Chrome. So I want to also show it in Chrome because there is something which you all might have seen. So I have opened it in Chrome also. This is the Chrome. So here, if you can see this broken image and lizard is being shown. This is something which all of you might have seen, like in India, like if you go to some website which is image heavy, sometimes suddenly the images will not been loaded and it will be shown like this. Okay, so this is all about the images and all. So the next thing is that I will like close, and we are going to start with CSS now. CSS will be taken by another teacher at in our company TWD, and we'll start in 1 or 2 minutes. The CSS will start. Okay, this is all about the HTML. Thank you.
So hi all, and let us start with CSS today. And today we have some plenty of time. So today this we will be going to have a project also, and we will do some basics more than what we are covering in our weekly sessions. So what we are going to do, we are going to see the basics of CSS and in how many ways we can add CSS. Then we can see the box model, and next is some basic font properties, classes, IDs, and after that we will see the display properties of, let's say, float, block, and we will do some styling part also of the form and the list tag, and and some studio classes also we will take to took in the last. Um, and what else is left? Positioning. We will see positioning also, or in how many days we can position the item. So that is again a very important topic we are going to cover today. And after that, we will see if time is there, we will start with Flexbox, or we will do the project. That depends upon the time constraint. Okay. So that is all we are going to see today. साई शशि, हाँ भैया यही है, बताइए. We are here. Tell me. Okay. So let me have the setup first, and then we will discuss. After completion of CSS, do we have projects, sir? Yes, we will do projects, but again, it depends upon the time. Either we will do project or we will do we will do Flexbox. That depends. We will be covering until Flexbox. Sai Shashi, I will be covering until Flexbox. I don't say, I don't commit, because it all depends upon the time. Because from 5:30 JavaScript will start. Okay? From 5:30 JavaScript will start. So I have 1 hour 30 minutes with me. Okay. So in 90 minutes, 90 मिनट है, जी लो अपनी जिंदगी. In 90 minutes में हमें हमारी जिंदगी जीनी है, और we will see what best we can do. Okay. So let us start now. Okay. So this is the setup. We'll have x.html and okay. So CSS, what is CSS? CSS is basically cascaded style sheet, and it is used to make the website decorated, attractive. Because when we prepare a web page with the help of HTML, that web page looks very ugly. Ugly means it does not look beautiful, it does not look attractive, and it is not at all good. So for this, we need CSS to make this thing happen. Now, let me have the structure. Okay, so now there are three ways in which we can add CSS. So let us see one by one. So we'll have line, internal, external. So these are the three ways in which we can add CSS: inline, internal, and external. Okay, now one thing. Now in these three ways, let us use the style tag to style it. So we'll have the in style, and we'll use a background color property. Let's say marine. One second. Okay, so this is the property what we have given in the inline CSS. So using the style tag, here we apply directly to the HTML element. So this is all what we did it. So this is the HTML element and we apply directly the property to here only. Now next is internal. So internal means internally we apply CSS directly to this HTML file. So how? Again using the style tag. Again we will use okay, so again using a style tag, you see here we have applied the CSS here. So again I have took the background color property. Now next is the external. External means, as the name says, external means externally we are writing CSS for this HTML file. So yes, we need to write externally. So what we do, we create a file.css as a file, and in this file for H3 will apply a RGB pattern, and here I use 0 100 and here what I do, I just okay. So now let us see them one by one once again. So here inline means in the same line means we apply CSS directly to this HTML file, HTML element. Now internal means we apply CSS directly to this HTML file using a style tag. And external means externally we create a separate file and we apply CSS from there. So that is what we are doing it. Now we use a link tag to link both the files. So this is the basic purpose of link tag. Now, okay. So now one more thing I just want to show you. If you have noticed one thing here, in all the three patterns, in all the three methods, I have used background color, and background color. Okay. So a background color property in all the three ways. Now the main question is here I just want to tell you that these are the ways in which we can add colors. Okay, these are the ways in which we can add colors. So first one is the plain method where we can simply type the name of the color. Okay, so what I do, I just simply type the name of the color. So there are around 140, yes, 140 color names which you can simply type it. Okay, so there are around 140 color names, so you can simply type it out. So let us see them also. So we have here you can pick and okay, we have see. So these are the 140 color names which you can simply type it out. Okay. Now next one. Mm, Next one is what we see here is the pattern which have some hash kind of a thing. Hash double F double zero double A. So here hash represents the hexadecimal number system. So it is picked up from that particular pattern. So it is currently here. It is called as hexadecimal color system. Okay. Now here double F represents the red color, double zero represents the green color, and double A represents the blue color. Means it is a form of red, green, and blue. So it, as I told you, it is a hexadecimal number system. So it picks up the value starts from 0 to F means 0 to 9 and A to F. Okay. Now the third one here, third one is the property where we use the background color. Here I use a RGB pattern. So RGB pattern means again a red, green and blue pattern. And in this red, green and blue, one second, in this red, green and blue, here you can see the combination means C. You can click on any color and you have their code. So here's the hexadecimal code, the RGB code and the HSL code. So this is just click on any color, you have the codes ready with you. Saturation, lightness. Now, here if you see, we have come across a new color pattern which is called as the HSL. Now, what is HSL? So here HSL means hue, saturation, and lightness. So hue contains all the colors. So the RGB is inside the hue. S for saturation, saturation means the sharpness, and L is for lightness, means the brightness. If you keep click on any color, you have their HSL codes here. See. Okay, so that is how it goes like that. Now, here if you see, as I told you RGB, so here you can prepare any color using this RGB pattern. See. Okay. So the range of RGB starts from 0 to 255. Okay. So when it will 0, it is black. 255 is pure white. Okay. So when we have RGB as 255, 255, 255, so it is white. When we have RGB as 000 means black. So that is how it goes like that. Now, so you can prepare any color with that, and so you can prepare any color using a combination of RGB. Okay. So now, after this thing, let me have some selectors. What are selectors in CSS? So here, H3 is a CSS selector. Okay, H3 is a CSS selector, and inside the CSS selector, the entire thing here is called as a declaration. This is called as a property, and this is called as a value. Okay, so this is a selector, declaration, value, and property. Okay. Now after this thing, let me have a para with a lorem of, okay, let's say with a lorem. Okay, now what we will do, we will try to style this para. We have a para and we'll use some font size of, let's say, px, and what else we can have? We have a line height property of, let's say, 30 px, and after that we can have text transform to uppercase, decoration to, let's say, underline, text decoration to underline, and next we can have, what else we can have? Letter spacing, let's say 20 px, word spacing 21 px. Okay, and what else we can have? Letter spacing, word spacing, and next we can add here. Font weight is also basic property, let's say bold. Okay, so now try to understand what is happening here. So we have written some basic font properties here. Okay, so the basic font properties, what you can see here is the first one is the font size. Font size means the height of the font. Okay, next we have line height. Line height means the spacing between the lines. Next, we can have the text transform. Text transform means everything you can change this to the capital letters. Next, we can have text decoration. Text decoration means we can change this to our underline. And again, you have the letter spacing. Letter spacing means spacing between the letters. Next, we can have word spacing. So, word spacing means spacing between the words. And again, we have something called as the font weight. Font weight means the thickness of the font. Okay, now we have next property is called the font family, and we will pick up this Arial, Helvetica, and Tencent. Now, what is the need of adding all these three fonts? So, guys, before proceed further, let us please do like the video, please do like the content. Okay, I hope everybody is enjoying the session. In case you are not, you can have your queries here in the comment section. So, guys, please do like the content, and that helps actually the YouTube algorithm to reach this content to the right set of people. Okay. So here, what is the font family? What is the need of the font family? Why we are using the three fonts? Okay. So here, Arial is a Helvetica font. Arial is a primary font, and Helvetica and Sans Serif is the secondary font. Okay. Now, primary and secondary. What is the need of primary and secondary? So, primary is the font. So let us discuss for secondary first. So let's say if there is a scenario that Google Chrome does not support Area, Helvetica, and Sans Serif font, so what it will automatically pick up? So it will automatically pick up the next available font, which is the Helvetica font. On there is a scenario if Microsoft Edge does not support Arial and Helvetica font, so automatically it will pick up the sans serif font. Okay, so that is why the need of primary and secondary font are there. So there are actually the problem is there are so many browsers these days, and it is not possible for every browser to support each and everything which is available or which is mentioned here. So what they are doing? So what they are doing? They are just giving the primary and secondary sort of a thing. Okay. Now after this thing, let us see the Google fonts also, because Google, as you know, these days are now into each and every part of life. So Google have their own fonts also. So we have these are some Google fonts which is available in front of your screen. Okay, so let us pick up this Laura. Seems good. So we have this one. We'll see. And here what we do, we just use LORA and thing is done. Okay. So now you can see how beautiful it looks like. Okay. So this is how you can implement a Google font. Now after this thing, let me have another paragraph and we'll use a lorem of let's say 10. Now the problem is this particular set of paragraphs is also using the same set of styles what we have given for the previous one. Okay, so the problem is this here. So for this particular problem, classes and IDs have introduced. So for this thing, let me have a class, let's say top, bottom. Okay. So we have classes and we have IDs. So what are classes and what are IDs? So classes and IDs. Classes and IDs both are used to target the HTML element. Okay. Both are used to target the HTML element, but the but classes can be used multiple times and ID can only be used one time. So this is the main basic difference. And after that, what else we can have? So and yes, dot is used to highlight the ID. Sorry, dot is used to highlight the class and hash is used to highlight the ID. So for this thing, let us experience how we are going to use it. So p dot, now see, now the this set of styles is only for this set of paragraphs because we have differentiated them using the classes and IDs. Okay. So that is why it is being called, it has been asked to use this thing. Now let's say what is a ID. So ID is again a method in which we can target the HTML element. But for this thing, we use hash. So what we do here, hash bottom, hash bottom font size of let's say 30 px. Okay. And we'll again use a family. Okay. So that is how it sees it goes like that. Now after this thing, let us see the next topic here is which is the box model. So for the box model, let us experience here only. See, this is the box model. Okay. This is the box model. So 1 minute. Okay. So uh, this is a box model. Okay. So here, if you experience this thing, content, padding, border, margin, margin, border, padding, content. Okay. So let us see how we are going to implement. So we have the content already we have in place. We have the padding. Okay. So we have the content. After content, we have the padding. Padding is 20 px. 20 px means 20 px here, 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 and here. And after that, we have border. Border means here, 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 and we have margin 20 px. So 20 px is here, 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 and here. Okay. Means when we are writing 20 px, 20 px means 20 px means you are the boss. So 20 px means 20 px, 20 px top, 20 px bottom, 20 px left, and 20 px side. So this is what about the calculation is. Now after that, if we write as border, So border means on all the four sides we have the border. 3px is the width. Solid, where you can see solid line, and the color is the black. And after that we have margin 30px, 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 30px. Okay. So this is the basic calculation how we are going to implement it. Now, after this box model, let me have a structure of the spelling of. Let's we will have our div h2 ul li. Okay, so this is the structure. Now we'll have index and we'll put hash here. As I don't want exact functionality, so I put hash here. And this I will comment out. Next, we have this anchor tag. We have, let's say, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Right. Okay, so this is the structure, and we'll have a class id. Okay. Let us see how we are going to do this. So dot ind and we'll use first what we have. Let us implement a Google font. Okay, and we'll have some padding of, let's say, 20 px. Okay, and after that we have a border of, let's say, 4p. It's solid with the black color. Okay, we'll use a border radius property. Let's say 10px. Okay. And we'll use text transform to uppercase. Okay, and we have in to PSC text line center, and again after that what we can have here. Okay, let us target dot shine v ul, and we have padding to 0, list style to none, and dot ind anchor tag will use that declaration declaration to none with the font color to black. Okay, and we'll use some margin bottom, let's say 20 px. I know it will not work here because it will apply to the li. Dot in okay, and also a border bottom of 1p has dotted with blue, and let's experience the width also. So width, let me see 50%. Okay, So this is what we have created. Um, some this is what we have learned till now. We have implemented using the basic styling of basics. Okay. So here, if you see, we have implemented uh, the basic font properties. What so far we have learned till now, and here, if you see, okay, so we have some hover property also. So let us apply that also. So we will use this on the dot ind anchor text hover with a change in the background color will be the yellow. Oh, yellow. Okay, and let us have increase in the font size to let's say 20. Okay, it's input. So that is what we have created a list. One second, we'll use just checking it. So this is the structure what we have created for the styling of list. Now, after this thing, let us create a form and we will do the styling of form also. So because with this particular, you will get to have an idea of the basic concept of the basic thought. What is there in our mind when we are in an implementation stage. Okay. So let us create that also. So we'll have a form there. We'll use div. We'll use div and then we use label input. Okay, so this is a structure and we'll carry a class also from GB. From GB is a class. So we have input as label as name, age, email. Okay, so the input name will be name, age will be in a number form, email will be in an email form. So that is about the form and we'll use a input submit. We'll use a class ptn. The value we have submit. Okay, one second. ये चालू नहीं है क्या? अभी अरे दिखता पानी अरे बाहर कर लिया मैं आपको भेजा पता आपको पानी दे Bhopal. Okay, so this is what we have created form and okay, so this is the form what we have created. Now let us create a style. So common class form GB and let us have a class or let's say my form. Okay, so paying class my form, and we have individual classes form G to P with the label as name, age, and email with the input type as text, number, and email. Okay, so things are good. 1 minute. So let us pick up each and everything, and we will style it. So we will use this my form first. Uh-huh. My form. So in this my form, second, let us apply the font family here. Okay, so that is good. And from the top, I want this to be 30 px down. And from the left also, now let us have some dot form pp. And in this form pp, we have some. Okay, okay. So what we do, we will target the input. Okay, so that is what I'm looking for. So the input type, we use a display as block, so things will come like this. Okay, now uh, 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 let us have in the input we have some in the bottom, let's say 20th. Okay, and this input we have, will use a border radius property to, let's say, npx, and border radius property to 10px, and let us have some padding internally, which can be here. And input, and we target the label, increase the font size, let's say 20. Okay, and text transform to uppercase, fine, and let us increase the width to but with this we need to control, so dot btn to control the width to, let's say, 10 to 10, and we'll have a background color to, let's say, blue, and the font color to white. Will use font weight to bold, and what else we can have here? So it is showing me please include at the rate, because we have added the input type at the rate input type email. So it will always ask for a valid email ID. Okay. Uh, so that is all about the styling of form. Now, 1 second. So let us have some float property. Float will have div h2 alarm Okay, so this is a structure what we have created here. Fine. So now how we are going to implement the float function here? Let us see this thing. So here, if you have noticed one thing, okay. So here, if you noticed one thing, we have a uh, header one, header two. So let us apply. So here, if you have noticed one thing, we have a common class block here. So dot block and we'll use a float of left with the width to let's say 33. Okay, so this is how there comes to be like this. Okay, so when we are using a float with the width of 33.3%, so that means we are using the 33.3% of the available screen size. Okay, so when we have more than one, we can use this. When if we have four, we can use 25% of the available screen size, or when we have two, so we can use the 50% of the available screen size. So that is what totally depends on our requirement. So this is how the float property will work here. So for this thing, let us do. Let me reduce. Let's see if I use right, it is like that. So here, as I told you, with the use of float property, we have moved the items in the state where we are using the available 33.3% to 50% of the screen size, because we have two items currently available here. Okay. So now let me have a padding of, let's say, client AX with a border property of, let's say, 3p. So let's do it. And let me add. Now try to understand the scenario what is happening here. Because the available screen size is 100%, and we have given 50% of this one and 50% of this one. But when we have added a padding, So 100 pi 100% plus padding and a border means plus border. So this is the screen. This is the size which is getting overlapped. Okay, so no problem. So we have property which is called as the box sizing. Box again. So with the help of this box sizing border box property. Okay, this box sizing border box property, you will be able to fix the problem very beautifully. Okay, so that is how it goes in this particular manner. And okay, the box sizing border box is also covered. Now next we can see the thing which is called as a positioning. What is positioning in CSS? How we are going to use the positioning part. Okay. So positioning, we need to create a structure first. One and H1 and H2. So okay, so now what we are going to do with the positioning? So with the help of positioning, uh, we are going to move this HTML and CSS inside the screen. Okay, considering two scenarios. Okay, the absolute and the relative. So considering the scenarios, absolute means here what we are going to do, we are going to have the page, this page as the parent. Okay, and in relative, we are going to change the parent from the top of the page to a different thing. Relative means it relates to that particular thing which actually is his parent. Okay, so this is all about the positioning and positioning absolute and positioning relative. Now there are two more types of positioning here. First one is the position static. So static means, so when we have written, so when I have written H1 comes HTML, H2 comes CSS. So static means the natural or the normal, or I can say the neutral behavior of an element is called as a static behavior. Okay. There is nothing in static. So next one is relative, then absolute, then fixed. Fixed means it will remain fixed whenever it will remain fixed irrespective of the screen size, the dimension, the property, the value whatsoever is going in the background of the screen. So it has nothing to do with all the things. So it will remain as it is in that particular position where we have fixed it. So let us apply all these three things here. So okay, so we have a parent class position box, and this we have H1 and H2. So H1 is HTML, H2 is CSS. So as the property says, H1 will always be above. H1 will always be above H1. H2 will always be above H1. So yes, and H2 will always be below H2, H1. So now let us, using the positioning, let us do this thing once. Okay. So okay, so this P box will use a a border of its we have a box with this particular dimension. Now, okay, so with this dot p box h1, we'll use a position absolute, and from the top, let it be 40p, right? Right, and from the left, let it be 50px. Now see, as soon as we apply the position absolute, okay, the position absolute, what happened here? See, ideally h1 will always be above h2, but after applying the positioning part, what happened here? h2 comes above h1. Okay, so that is why it is called as the most powerful thing in CSS, which is called as the positioning. Positioning means you can position your items irrespectively of anything. Now, after this thing, if I apply a position relative, so it will come again down. Why down? Because here, because earlier, what this page is parent, and here now the parent has shifted to this line. Okay. Now let us have experience for for position absolute from the, let's say, from the bottom, let's say 400px, and from the right. Okay, so that is the point where we are going to position the x. Okay. Now after this thing, let us check out the position fixed. What is position fixed stays? Okay. So what we are going to do it. So let us create a button with the class as fixed btn with the content as, okay. So we have a button here. So then this has btn dot fbtn. Okay. So we need to close position fixed. Okay, very good. From the top, let it be 500 feet, and on the left, let it be 500 px. Just make it be 400 px. No, it's good. Okay. So now if I want to insert a image in this box, so how we are going to use it? So let me have a image first. So we'll use a unsplash. So unsplash images are very good. So let us this is the image what we have. We try to insert it. Oh. but I think only this part is coming. So let us speak. Let us finish it. So we have property which is called as background tries to cover. Okay, cover and background repeat. No. So if from any point of view we find the background is getting repeated, so we will stop it. Okay. So that is all about the background image insertion. Now after this thing, let us see some pseudo classes. What are pseudo classes? So pseudo classes are nothing but it is an extended way. It is an extended way to target the HTML elements. So let us do that thing. We'll have a UL and LI into 6 and this is what I'm looking. Now here, let me have okay, so any other colors. Okay, so now we'll have a class for this. Now let us see how we are going to use the extended way. So we have got pseudo L. Okay, so here we targeted only the first child. So we targeted only the first child. Now let us target the second child. Primary with gray. Okay. So this you can put anything here and you can go ahead with the child. So if I use, so let's say if there is a scenario where we want to target, we have some thousands and thousands of rows, and I want this to be target in an odd even pattern. Very beautifully with a single line of code using a nth child and odd even functionality, we can target this thing very easily. Okay, so this is what I have told you. It is an extended way of targeting the HTML elements. Okay, so this is how we are done about the basics part. Now Second, let us have a small project for today. So for this thing, let me have the let us pick up this project, 4 card feature section. So challenge hub. Okay, so try to understand this thing here. So here this project is a this project. Okay, so we are talking about Flexbox. So let us implement Flexbox here also. So oh sorry. So here this is a H1. Again, this is a H1. This is a paragraph. Fine. Now later on we have a border top, border top, border top, border top. I can say H3, 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 para, 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 a image, and all those have a border radius property. So the nutshell is all these 4 boxes are identical to each other. First thing, all these 4 boxes have a common border top, common size, different image, but is of a common size. Same paragraph color in all the boxes and the structure. Okay, so let us and okay, so we are going to build this with the help of Flexbox. So you can have a theoretical design also how we are going to implement it. So let us you can see they have given nothing. Nothing means only the content part, only the matter they have given. Rest all we need to declare from ourselves. So okay. So a header part they have given, and in this header part we'll have a H1, We'll move this thing. Again, we'll have another H1. Footer is not required at all. So comment out. And after this, in the header, we have para. So this is the top thing what we have created here. Now, after that, we have our structure which have these boxes. So let us try to add that. So we have okay. So as we are going to implement this in a complex, so we have container and we'll have a div. We'll have a h2 era image. H2 is will be a little bit higher. I can say div with h3, a para, and a image. And div will have to have class box. Okay, so this is the structure. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, fine. So now let us go like next. Okay, karma, comma. Okay, so these are the 4 images what we have inserted here. Now, what we are going to do, we are going to style each one and we are going to fix it. So, so mm, a header. This header will control this thing. Okay, okay, but this header will control this thing. Container a Java. Okay. Now, what we are going to do, we are going to use the CSS. So we have not created file. File.css and we will link it. So for onboarding, so we will use to start. After the border box. After we will target the header. Uh, header. Okay, so for header, we can have the margin of, let's say, 50 px and or so max width of, let's say, 100 px and it's align time. Okay. Now, what we will do, we will target the H1 with a margin of 0, fine, and we will have the paragraph. So paragraph, they have given some colors and all those things. So for paragraph, they have given like it to be this thing. Okay, so when you see this color, all the paragraphs have the same color, so it will be replicated all the. So and after that we have the parent class container display of text. Flex, everything will be aligned in a single row with the max width of, let's say, px and margin of 0 and respect the wrap to wrap with JC justify content. Okay. And after that, we will target this common class. Word box will have some padding of, let's say, 30 px. Padding of 30 px. Okay. And we'll use a border radius property of, let's say, and px. And we'll want some, and then also let's px, and we'll use again this way of flex inside the box with flex. Uh, 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 uh. Flex direction to column. Okay, the images are very high, very big. Okay, not to worry. So dot box image will view align cell property to flex of and okay, so themes adjusted. Fine. So now what is left? Okay, 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 okay. A background color and border top. Second. Oh, and one more thing that we'll do in the last. This dot box h3 with margin of 0 and font size, let's say 22p. Okay. Now we will target this para dot box para font size of again let's say 14px and a margin of let's say 15 0 and input. Now for all the different boxes we have different border bottoms. So let us copy it here. Now dot box nth child, let's say one, will use a border top with the IP solid with okay. Now 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is next we will use a scan plus. Okay. Okay, okay. So now what we will do here again we use the dot box init child dot will uh, 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 it transform transition to 50%. Okay, some error is there. But it has asked to use a Google font. So let us implement Google font first. Then we will try to replicate. So we have 200, 400, and 600. Okay, okay, okay. So 200, 400, 600. Okay, now we will implement this font. So we will font family opens. Font and okay, and background color they have given And we have mm, for the boxes. We again need to have a background color white. Now we will be easily identify where are the boxes available. Okay. So now let me have me control P. Oh, see. So this is how we are going to make this happen. Okay. So now I will hand over my session to my colleague Hari. So hi Hari, can you come in?
Is audible now for all? Can you able to hear my voice? Anyone tell it in the chat box? Yes. Oh, thank you. Okay. Okay. So first of all, welcome you all for this Kickstarter workshop of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. The next 1.5 hours we're going to okay. So the next 1.5 hours we're going to see about JavaScript. Okay. So everything like whatever the things that we want to see in JavaScript, we're going to discuss it as quick as possible. Okay. We are not going to see a depth knowledge in JavaScript that is not possible within 1 hour. So 1.5 hours. So what we're going to do, we're going to create like program with the flow. Okay. So we're going to do something, what comes to our mind, we're going to do it. And how can I build that logic with JavaScript? That's what it is. So whatever. So here, actually, you are going to decide what we're going to do and what are the things that we're going to do. Everything you're going to decide. I will ask you some questions. Based upon the questions, we will just uh, play with the JavaScript. Okay, and then learn with that. That's what it is. Okay, I think hope everyone can able to see my screen. So yeah, I just create a new folder for this one. So let me clear one thing first. This is a Kickstarter workshop. So whatever we're going to see in this 1.5 hours, it's going to be fundamentals, basics, and that's more than 70%. You will understand everything as become a front end developer. You can able to understand it. Remaining things will be there. Okay, so that will be that. We are not going to touch any advanced concept and everything. Okay, so that's what the thing. Okay. So, yeah, inside this only we're going to work on it. Okay, so before getting into the session, I just want to ask you two questions. How many of you already worked with JavaScript? How many of you already worked with JavaScript, and how many of you entirely new? So I'm right now only I'm the first time I'm going to work on JavaScript. How many of you like that? If you're first time, then type first. If you already worked with, then just say a little bit, whatever the work that you have done, just tell it in the chat box. Okay, so meanwhile I create the base folders files. Sabina, good. Little bit. Okay. That's great. First time. Hmm. Thank you. Thank you for your response. Let me do one thing. So those who all are already know about JavaScript, that is well and good. We're going to discuss a lot here also. So you will get a lot of insight. But those who are didn't attend any JavaScript classes, that even more better, you can start from like this is going to be the basics. So you'll understand everything from this workshops. Okay. So that's going to be the basic. So yeah, it is going to like another question is how many of you already know some other programming language like Python, C++? So if you know some other programming language, type what is the programming language that you know in the chat box. That's the last question. Okay. So just say Python, Java. Python. Okay. 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 Clear. So the one more thing is, if you already know any other programming language, don't compare the syntax of Java or any Python with JavaScript. Okay. So because we basically, as you know, if you are coming from any computer science background or any background, so the programming language, the syntax will be different. Okay. So in when it comes to JavaScript, it is way more different. You don't want to write everything as strict as how Java in Java we need to write it. We don't want to write something like that. Okay. So it is like something, the syntax is very lesser, like Python, it is also very lesser, but even more JavaScript is very different compared to Python. So JavaScript is a loosely typed big programming language. Okay. But Python is also loosely typed but strong programming language. Okay. But Java is going to be strongly typed and strong programming language. Okay. So which means their syntax is way different compared to here. So don't compare the syntax, just understand the code and whatever the syntax that we are using here, consider that as everything, forget about all other programming language and focus on this one. That's what it is. Oh, so let us start into the class. So first of all, we created an index.html file that is going to act as our base file. If I want to create a website or a web application, so the HTML files is like the content area where we will put all our contents, images, all our assets will be there in this index.html, right? And we have our style.css. We know that keeping things separate will helps a lot in debugging and coding also. So that is why we are keeping the files separately. So we have style.css. In style.css, basically it is going to useful for the align mode. Okay. So it is going to do a style. For example, I just say body, background, color, like this. Then let us have the h1, text align, center. So now if I save it, you can see nothing has happened. Why? Because I need to tell the CSS file to like I need to just link this index.html file. The reason why we are linking this CSS file with index.html because I need to tell the CSS file like which content area that you want to style it, which body you need to style it, which h1 you need to style it, right? I need to tell to that. So that is why we are linking the file. So for linking CSS, we have the link tag and we have the CSS. Just add it, the style will be applied and it will be whatever that okay. So whatever that we having that we will it will be applied here. Okay. And the next one we're going to see about app.js. What is app.js file? This file is going to be the base file for whatever the code that we're going to done in JavaScript. Right now we worked with HTML, right? We worked with CSS. Here we're going to work with everything in the JS. Okay, in the JS file we're going to do all the things. So that's what it is. Okay, so that's what it is. Okay. Okay. So yeah. So now we know that style.css is going to be the file that is responsible for the layout, alignment, and styling part of my website. So that is why I'm linking it with HTML. So then I need to know about what is JavaScript is going to do in a website or a web application, what JavaScript is going to do. Then only I can able to finalize whether it is going to link with HTML or we need to link with CSS. What I want to do is like that we can able to do it. I hope most of you are from like little bit know the knowledge of JavaScript. I will straightly come to the point. JavaScript is used to manipulate HTML and CSS. Why I need to manipulate HTML and CSS? The answer is simple. So whenever an interaction is happen, okay, whenever an interaction that we are happening, for example, I go and click a button that's inside this website. What will happen is there will be a server. The server will takes care of the request, and then it will do the response things, and it will just go there, come to the database like that. There will be a process will be there, and that process is going to be the database process. So if I want to do, I don't want to do any big process. I don't want to involve the database to handle that. Like I don't want to do anything like that. I don't want to involve the server also. So I just want to do simple thing. For example, if I click this, the text want to hide, or if I want to click it, I just want to create a drop down. If I click this, I need to enable the dark mode, light mode. So like this, I need to want to do some user interface changes. That is the main thing. I want to do some user interface changes. So that is possible with JavaScript. So before JavaScript, how it is possible? Well, it is possible. Most of the things, even the drop downs also, but more complicated. So how it is possible means, so if you have a dark mode and light mode, that concept. So we will have a website with HTML with the light mode, HTML with the dark mode. So if someone clicks it, the server go and get the dark mode website. If someone again clicks it, the server go and take the HTML with the light mode website. So this is how it will be work. We need to create a two different HTML file for this particular thing. So that's what happening because without JavaScript. But with JavaScript, what I can do is I can just manipulate the CSS. If someone clicks it, change the background color to black. Like that, I can able to manipulate that one. So that kind of activity, like to change something, to manipulate something in the user interface, okay, we can use this JavaScript without involving the server. So which means the server will be used only for whenever I want to give some data or whenever I want to work with some database like that. During that time, I can use it. Okay, so that's what it is. So here, JavaScript is used to manipulate HTML and CSS. Then what I want to do, I just want to link my file with my index.html file. Why we are linking with index.html file? Because in this index is going to be the base file. So if I link with HTML file, the CSS file also linked with here. So I can able to manipulate with help of this document. I can able to manipulate both HTML files and CSS. I can able to do it. Now, where you can add it is, you can add it in the bottom of your body tag. You can add it in the head also, but it is always recommended to add a JavaScript file at the bottom of the body tag. Okay, because it will helps in if you add it in the bottom of the body tag, there is no preloading of JavaScript will happen, which means once the HTML and CSS will render, then the JavaScript code will render. In some case, if you add it in the head tag, what will happen? JavaScript run before the HTML and CSS. So that's the case. And even you can use a keyword called defer to stop the execution, but don't get complicated. Just add it in the bottom of the body tag and mention the file name that you want to add. That's it. We have added successfully. And I need to check whether I added successfully or not. So how can I check it? You can able to see this browser, right? Just go here, right click it and click on it. When it comes to JavaScript as a language, it's just nothing. Okay, just a scripting language. Like all other programming language, whatever the concept it has, like same like that, the scripting language is also having. But how JavaScript becomes powerful, how it is becomes more and more famous, and even it becomes irreplaceable in the front end development and even in the development field. Okay, so but backend we have some other programming language, but front end we only have this JavaScript. So how it has become? It's because of this browsers, because of the browsers that supports JavaScript. Okay, without browsers, JavaScript is going to be a very basic programming language. With the help of browser, JavaScript can do anything. Okay, it can do anything. Everything is provided by these browsers. They support that, and that is why now everything JavaScript becomes the king of the web. Okay, so here you can able to see the browser tools. So what are these browser tools? Well, the browser tools are going to be the tools that will really helpful during our development. For example, this element tool you can able to see here. So you can able to see all our code here. You can see inside the body tag I have the h1 tag, and I can able to do it. Even if I want to change anything, I can check it. For example, instead of workshop, I just give live what can I say, okay, you can able to see, okay, it is looking fine. So but these changes are temporary. Okay, you can have the CSS also. You can able to see the styled component, how it is styled. For example, here if I say, if I give the color, okay, and I just say aqua, you can see how it is changing. Like here also you can able to manipulate it, and this will be really helpful when you want to align something at a particular pose and you want to check it whether the alignment and everything is perfect. Like that, if you want to do it, you can use this element tag. But this is temporary one. Whatever the changes that you are making here, it is temporary one. So then how can you make it permanent? Just copy the code. Once you've done, then paste it in the VS code, then it is become permanent. Okay, so if I refresh it, all the code has been refreshed. It will just reload the page that whatever it's in the VS code. Okay, it is a temporary. So what we actually want is the second one, console.log. So this console is the place where all our errors and everything will be shown. For example, instead of app.js, if I run some other files, and if I save it, you can able to see red color indication. So programming language, red color, error, right? So it is telling that some error, like it is trying to get some information at this port. The file name is adspp.js, that is 404. So which means it is a status. It is telling that not found. So the error is coming in index.html in the line number 15. So this is my index.html file, and in the line number 15, I can able to see here is the error is coming from. So you can able to check that if any case like it will shows any red indication that you need to take it serious, and then you just want to like make it nothing, like this console empty, right? That's what you need to do. But and if I added the correct file, you cannot see anything here. Meanwhile, we can able to access this console in our JavaScript file. We can able to access this area with our JavaScript file. And this console is a dynamic area. For example, whatever you are putting here, it will shows the result of it. If I say 6 multiplied by 8, you can see it's acting as 48, right? So likewise, whatever it is available, operations, whatever variables, anything that whatever that is available, you can able to access here in the console. And this console, you can able to handle this console here also in your app.js file. The only one condition is your JS file should link with your index.html file. So that is the condition. If you are linked successfully, then you can able to access this area in your code file. For example, here, how can you access this? We have a method, default method. The method is going to be console.log. And you can able to see the double slash, right? So basically these are our comments. So which means these codes are not read by browsers. Okay, so it is like simple text. So they will consider it as a simple text. So they will not read this code. Okay, so the browser will not read this code. So now what we're going to do is, we're just going to write console.log, and inside the console.log, whatever you are writing, it will be reflect in here. For example, I say 9 multiplied by 9. If I save it, you can able to get the answer here. So this is really going to be helpful in the entire journey, because this method is going to be helpful for debugging, which means if I write some code, I need to check whether my code is successfully written, whether the browser understand my code correctly. I need to check it, right? If I created something, created a variable or created any other thing, I created it, I just want to check it whether it is stored successfully in the memory or it is executed successfully in the memory. I need to, whether it is executing perfectly or not, I need to check it. Or in case if any error is coming or any unexpected error is coming, something is not getting, something is getting some else, like that. If I do something, what I can do, I can put the console.log and I can pass those thing inside the console.log, and I can check it whether it is there or not, whether it is not there. Like that, we can able to check it. Okay, so that is why we have this console.log. Fine. Okay, so the first going to discuss about variables and data types as quick as possible. Okay, I'm not going to waste the time in variables and data types. It is going to be the very basic in all the programming language. Okay, we're just going to cover variables and data type as quick as possible. Once we're done with that, we started to build the application, and then we apply the learnings what we are learned, and then we started like based upon the project we will change ourselves. Okay, and I need your input also. I will ask some questions in the chat box. Give a question to that. Okay, so yeah, so right now we know JavaScript is used to manipulate HTML and CSS. To manipulate HTML and CSS, so what are the things I need to learn in JavaScript? Okay, you need to learn a lot, but for now you need to learn the basics plus DOM. So what is mean by these two? So basic is going to be this. If you take any programming language, the concept are going to be same, almost same in all the programming language. For example, variables, data types, loops, conditional statements, arrays, iteration, these concepts will be same in all the programming language, but the syntax is vary, the execution is vary. Okay, so that we need to know to understand the JavaScript syntax to communicate with the browser. Second one is DOM. So DOM is the one that is really going to helpful for changing, accessing an element, changing an element, doing setting for manipulating HTML and CSS. With the help of DOM only, we can connect our JavaScript code DOM to speak with the browser. Okay, so that's what we will do it. So let's see how we can do this. So the first basic concept that we need to learn is variables. I hope you all know variables. It's going to be a container. So if I want to store any data, I will store it in a variable, which means it will create a small space in the memory, and it will store like a small container, and the data will be stored inside the memory. Okay, inside that container. So there are three keywords is available to create a variable. We're going to use the two keywords. One is let and another one is const. So what is keywords? The keywords are nothing but I need to communicate with browser, right? So if I say something, browser need to understand. I need to create a variable. I need to create a function like that. It need to understand. So how can I do this? So for that only we have this keywords. So they are called as reserved words. So they meant for a certain purpose. When I use those words, then browser will understand. Okay, so he used let, which means I want to create a container. Like that, it will understand. So I just say let. It's a keyword, and you need to give a name to the container. Any name. So what is the name I can give? I can say f name. It means first name. And I'm just going to give equal to, and I'm going to give a default value. Okay, let us give the default value as any name. Let us take Harish. Okay, so now this is the variable. So what we have done is we have let and we have f name, and f name is going to be the container. F name. Sorry for. So f name is going to be the f name is going to. Sorry for that. So f name is going to be the name that we are giving for the containers. Okay, so it is a container. It is going to be the container name, and it is going to be the value that we will store inside the containers. Okay, so right now I written the code. I need to check whether the code is successfully understandable by the browser or not. So how can I do this? I can say console.log. That is a variable name. It is called as identifier. Okay. Now I just want to call this f name. So if I call this f name, what the console will do means if the console returns the value inside the variable name, then our variable is successfully created. So it created a variable in our memory. So if it is not created successfully, then what will happen? If it is show any error, then our variable is not created successfully. For example, if I save it, you can able to see the value that inside this variable is printed, right? The value inside this variable is printed, but then I can understand that my inside in my memory the variable is successfully created. But what if I ask for some other thing? Okay, some different other variables. For example, I just say last name. I just say L name like this. If I save it, you can see we are getting an error. So what is an error? We are getting reference error and L name is not defined. So remember the message title. So the error title, that is going to be the reference error. So what is meant by reference error? So you are asking something, but that is not existed in the memory. Then it will show you the reference error. Okay, so it is not existed in the entire document, entire memory. It is not created, and you are trying to access it. That is why it is telling the reference error. But if you are trying to access anything that is created already in the memory, then it will be show. Then it will be show the value inside that particular variable. Okay, so this is called as identifier. This is called as the keyword, and this is going to be the value. Okay, so identifier is like identifying, giving a name to your container. So that's what it is. Okay, so this is variable, and there are certain rules and regulations there. You should not start with a number. You should not use the special characters. Like that, the certain rules and regulation will be there, and you need to follow that one. And this is going to be the value. So here, what is the value? So basically, this value we will get from the browser. For example, the user give it and we will get it. So how we will get the user given value? With the help of DOM. So right now we don't, like, we haven't seen anything with DOM. So we will discuss that. So that is why we directly given the value. We will discuss that later. So this data you can able to see right now it is a word. So we have so much of data, right? So we have word, we have numbers, we have some other things like empty, like that. So much of things is there, right? So uh, how can I store those things? Okay, so that is called as data types. Types of data. Okay, that is going to be the data type. So basically, whatever the data are available, they are categorized into these. This is going to be these data are similar. These data are similar. Like that, they will categorize. They will group them together, and then they will come up with the data set. And that types of data are called as data types. Okay. Basically, we have two categories of data. One is primitive data types, and another one is going to be reference data type. Okay, so the primitive data types basically we have 7 primitive data types is there, but 5 is the most commonly used, and 2 is newly introduced one. They don't have a lot of use cases. We're going to see the first 5. I'm just going to say string. The first one is string. Second one is going to be number, and third one is going to be boolean. Fourth one is going to be null, and fifth one is going to be undefined. And what is the sixth and seventh is going to be begin and then symbol. Okay, so these are the things. The begin teacher and the symbol is a newly introduced one. They don't have any use cases. The most common is this 5. Okay, even some of them not even teach this. Okay, so you can have a look into this. It's very simple. We already taken a lot of things. We learned about these things in the previous workshop also. So right now we're going to focus only on the project. So we are leaving this. We're going to see this one. So what is actually string? A string is nothing but whatever you are giving inside this double quotation, that is considered as a string. Remember, double quotation, single quotation, backticks, anything under quotation that is considered as a string. But the real definition is sequence of characters. Words, letters, and everything is considered as a string only. Okay, so remember that even if you give a number 45 inside a quotation, it is considered as a string only. So how can I check it whether it is a string or number? Well, we have an operator that is called as type of method. Okay. So what this type of method will do means it will return the data type that the variable consists of. For example, I will create a variable const name1 equal to, and I just going to say, okay, this one, and I just say console.log. Console.log, and I just say name1. And you can able to see we are getting the name. I just count up this one. We are getting the name. And before this, if you use type of operator, what the type of operator will do means, well, the type of operator return the data type of the variable. So what is the data type of this variable? The data type of this variable is going to be a string. If I save it, you can see what is the data type that consists of. It is returning that one. So if I give a number, it is a sequence of character. So if I give a number like 78, you can see it is a number. So it is written the data type of the variable. Like this it will do. If you view any number inside the quotation, since JavaScript it's automatically converts their data type, like automatic type conversion will happen in JavaScript. That is what like the dynamic programming is. So we don't want to mention it is an integer, it is a character like that. We don't want to mention it. That will happen automatically in the back. So what JavaScript will consider means it is inside the quotation, right? So then it is considered as a string only. If I save it, you can able to see getting only string. Okay, so if you want to create a number, you should avoid this backticks, or like sorry, this quotations and backticks. That's you need to avoid it. Okay, so that's the thing. Okay, so this is string, and for numbers, everything is a number. No integers or different float. No categorization is there. If I say 8.9 is a float, but this is also comes under number, and if it is 78, this is also a number. Okay, so they don't have any like differentiation will be there. Okay, so this is what number is. And what is going to be boolean values? Boolean values are basically true or false. For example, these values true, and you can see this is also sequence of character. We are writing a word, but it is not enclosed with quotation. Okay, so then it is, if it is enclosed with quotation, then it is considered as a string. If it is not, then it is a boolean. So basically this operator will be helpful when you are doing any comparison. Okay, for example, 7 is greater than 9, false. You can see you are getting boolean, and if I remove this one, you will get the false. So if I check the type, it is going to be boolean. And then what we have null operation. So null is basically, I purposely I want to occupy the space, and I want to give null. Okay, purposely doing it. Okay, if I save it, you can see we are getting object. This is actually a bug. Okay, so the data type of null, it comes under primitive data types. So basically it should be null, but it is not coming as null. It is an object. It is a bug. Even a proposal is made for JavaScript to change this object to null. Okay, so in future you can expect it will be changed, but even 4 years before the proposal is made, that is much more complicated than we are changing the data type of null this. So that is why it is taking more time. That's what it is. Okay, so but basically it is going to be a bug, the thing. So that's going to be the fourth one. And what is undefined? Undefined is a variable without value, and some people will confuse some people will confuse like then what is the difference between null and undefined? Null is also empty, so a variable empty. Undefined, which means a variable without value, that is also empty, right? So that is not correct. If it is null, I am making purposely empty. If it is undefined, right now it is declared, it is like a temporary zone. Later the value will be added. Okay, undefined is like an you have an Excel sheet, and in Excel sheet for a certain column, a person has put null, and in certain column nothing is filled. There is a difference between both, right? So a person put null means making purposely that is null. If a person put anything means he's waiting for any other to get like any values to come. That's why it's the answer. So same like this, undefined is like a temporary. This keyword is a special keyword in JavaScript. Whether JavaScript use this keyword during all the memory allocations, that will be discussed in the advanced classes. Okay, now you can check it. This is going to be the undefined. If you normally check it, the value is going to be undefined. The data type is also undefined. These all are the primitive data types. Okay, the 5 primitive data types, and begin is there and symbol is there. Begin is nothing but if you want to do any calculation that is crossed maximum safe number, that is going to be begin. We are not going to use it anymore. And symbol is also if you want to store some unique data inside your entire document, then you can use symbol. This is also not in right now. We are not using these things. Okay, so just avoid these 2 things. Okay, and let us see about reference. So when it comes to reference data type, one is object. Okay, and we have array. So array is not a special type of, is not a different data type. Okay, so array is also an object. Okay, it is a special type of an object only. Okay, first let's see what is array and then object. So this is going to be the last theory class. Okay, once we completed this array and object, we are done. we're going to create our own application. We started to create our application and we can start work on that. And whatever functionality we like to add, we're going to add it. So what is array? So array is basically the difference between primitive data types and reference data type is primitive data types can able to hold only one data in a variable, but reference data types can able to hold multiple data like list of items. Okay, so it can able to hold. Let's see how an array is created. For example, I just say const arr. If you want to store an array, then you should use square bracket, and whatever the items that you want to store inside an array, you can mention it inside this array and separate each and every item with comma. For example, like this. So right now we stored multiple values. This is one item. This is another item, like this. Multiple values. You can just separate it with comma and you can add it. Okay. So let's see how it is displaying in the console.log. And if I ask for ARR, you can able to see the array is created. What is the 7? Where is the 7 is coming from? The 7 is the count of your items inside an array. So we have 7 numbers, so that is why 7 is coming. So basically the length of the array. So that is what they count. Okay. You can able to see something like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? So what is this? So this is called as indexes. So what is meant by indexes? So basically a variable is like a container. So like a box store data. Array is, we have a box and inside that box we have small box. Okay. And whatever value that we are giving, it will take the value and put it in an ordered way. Okay. That box has like we don't right now in variable we giving a name, right? ARR, like that we are giving name. But these small boxes or named indexes, it already have the name. Starts from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like that. How many items that we are storing, that much items will be created. Okay. So starts from 0, each and every value will be given. So what is it is used for? Well, if I call array, you can able to get the list of items. What if I want to get only this number 4? How can I get this? So for that cases, this indexes will be helpful. So what can we do is, we can, if I want to access a particular item in an array, we need to use a square bracket. So this will go inside the container and it will look for a index. So the index of 4 is going to be 3. I just give 3. And if I save it, you can see we are accessed 4. So if I want 6, 6 is going to be 5. The index is going to be 5. And if I ask for, we will access the 6. Likewise, we can able to access an individual value, like particular value that we can able to access. Okay, so that is why that is why the indexes is useful for. Okay, and the next thing is, one more thing we need to notice is here is indexes always start from 0. The what order that you are giving, based on that order only the value is going to be stored inside this array. Okay, so that's the thing. And you notice that the index is always 1 times lesser than the length. Why? Because when we are counting, we start counts from 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Like this we will count. But the indexes starts from 0. So that is why the 1 times lesser. So that will be really helpful when we want to look through. We will discuss that one later. So this is all about array. So then what is object? So, and one more thing I just left is to check the data type of an array. So if I check the data type using the type of operator, you can see we are getting object. This is not bug like what null shows. It is actually true. Array is a special type of an object only. Okay, so that is why it's created. That is why it's showing array object. Okay, so now let's see object. So what is the difference between object and array? Because object is also going to hold multiple data types, a list of data types, and array is also going to store a list of data types. So what is the difference between these two things is, well, it is that in object, the order is not important, but in array, the order is important, because what order that you are giving, based on that order only, it will take the value. And object is named index. Okay? But arrays are numbered indexes. You can see the 0, 1, 2, 3, right? Starts from 0, it keeps on going, like that it will go. But here it is named indexes. We will provide what is the small container name should be, like that we will give the name of it. Okay, so that's the difference between arrays and object. Let's see how we can create an object is, just say const, say person. Okay, and I just going to say for object you need to use the curly braces, and here you need to use a key value pair. Key value pair. And this is called as properties. So you need to use a key. The key is basically the indexes, how 0, 1, 2, 3 is for array. It is automatically created. Here we need to give it. And then we need to use colon. So colon, then you need to give the value. And each and every value is separated by a comma. That's what you need to do. And that is called as properties. So the data that we stored inside an object, that is considered as a property. Okay. That's considered as a property. So now I'm just going to say person, I just say name. I just want to say the name of the person is going to be John. Okay. And I just going to say age 60. So let's see how this object will look in the console. I just say console.log person. You can able to see what we are getting. Here you can see the order is also arranged like an alphabetic order, because what order that we give is not taken. Based upon the alphabetic order, it is arranged, and you can able to see the zeros and ones. Here we have ages and names. So if I want to access only the name, how can I access it? So there you need to use a square bracket and tell the index. Here you need to use a dot, okay, and tell the key. For example, it is name, you need to tell name, and you will get the exact name of it. Okay. And then if you want to age, then you can ask the age. The age is going to be the exact name of it. Okay. So that's it for the data types. Okay. So this is enough for the data types, and this is more than enough. Now what we going to create is, we going to create a data. Okay. A data, for example, a data of viewers currently in data of, we can say PWD learners, learners. Okay. So we going to create a list of data. Okay. So that's going to contain, for example, I just say const learners, okay, equal to is going to be square bracket, because we're going to have a list. So that's why I'm using array. And inside this array, I want to store the person name, and I want to store the person where he is from. Okay. So for example, the name of the person is going to be John, and the place is going to be, can we say Kerala? Like this. Okay. So this is how so that is why what we are did. We have this square bracket. Okay, square bracket is basically an array, and if it is a curly braces, then is an object. So we stored array nested object. Okay, let's see how it is look in the console. I'm just going to say console.log, and if I say learners, you can see we are having this array. Inside this array, you can able to see in 0th index we having an object. Okay, so if I want to go inside the 0th index, then I want to say 0, like this. Now we have only object. If I want to get this John, then what I want to do, I just want to give dot name, like this. I need to tell it John. So if I created another object, okay, John, instead of it I can say become, like this. And if I want to go inside the second one, how can I do? You need to tell the index of that one. You can get this. So this is how it will work. So now what we're going to do is, we're going to create our own. So this is exactly a replication of an API data set. Okay. Whenever you work with an like connecting your backend with frontend, you may think like, how can I connect with my backend and frontend? So there will be some concept called API. So API is basically contains all the information inside your data. Okay. So in a certain format. So that is called as JSON format, or any other format it will contain. Most probably when we work with MERN-Stack, like when we work with MERN-Stack, it is 100% it is a JSON form. and that JSON format is exact similar format to an array nested object. This same thing. Okay, what we will do is we will convert the format to an array nested object only, and once we converted it, we need to render it. So now what I'm going to do is we're going to create our own data set, which means the database information. So what I want is tell it in the chat box. What is your name and where are you from? I'm going to take up 5-person name and their place. Where are you from? Just tell about there. And here we will store it in a database. And with the help of that one, we're going to create the user interface. Tell your name and where are you from. Your name and place in a single message. Okay. Type it quick, or else I need to type name and a place differently like that. Okay. Let me add one more object. Object name place. Okay. Name is going to be, so those who want to, so like those who are like to give their name, you can give it, no compulsion. Okay. Ravindra. Okay. Thank you, Ravindra. And the place is going to be Andhra Pradesh. Okay. So this is the first person name in DWD learners from this line. Okay. So 2, 3, 4. Yeah. You can start to view the names. We add a data set like this. Okay. Let me replace the name. Let us say like Anand, like from Kerala, and let me type some other name. So and interact it in the chat box, guys. Otherwise, it will be tough for you. Okay. So that's what it is. And I just say Latish, and let me consider this from Karnataka. And then Magay, say he's from Odisha. Okay, if I make any typos, forgive me. Okay, and I just say Vijay, he is from. Okay, so we have this data set. Let us consider we have 5% data sets. Okay, we have 5%, and who all are here? Thank you, Ravindra Kumar. Thank you. Okay, so what we are doing, so we created a data set. Whatever here, this is going to be our data. Okay, we collected a collection of data, and right now I created the data that is for EWD learners. It may be anything. For example, if it is an e-commerce website, the exact same format will be followed, array nested object, and instead of name and place, we have more things. The item picture and the price and the product details, description, like that we have much more information. Okay, so that's how it's there, but it is going to be same. It is going to be the same. So now what I want to do is, this is the data that comes from the database. Okay, so that's what you need to remember. This is the data that comes from the database. I converted into a normal array listed object. So now what I want to do is, I just want to render these things, and with the help of this data, I want to create a beautiful user interface here. Okay, I need to create it. That's what our task is. See, live. Okay, like this. That's what our task is. So how can I do this? So before that, this is going to be the data set. Before that, what we need to learn is, we need to learn about events. So what is mean by events? So events is basically the interaction that we are making with the website. For example, Then we create a button here. Okay. And here I just going to say show me. This is going to be the button. And let me add some styling. Okay. And I just say button equal to let what we can say is going to be let me see. Sorry. Okay. And let me add the okay. And okay. Ah, so and I say sorry. So now they have added it. So now what I want to do is I need to add an event here. For example, if someone clicks it, I just want to show something. Okay, that's what it is. So here you can see nothing is there. So I just want to add it. I just say if someone goes and click this button, I want to do something. So that is actually event is interacting with the website. Okay. So what I want to do this to if right now if I click it, nothing is happening, right? Nothing is happening. So how can I add an event to this button? So for that, you need to add an event listener to the button. So there is no event listener is there to listen for it because we have so much of events. We have click event, double click event, like that we have so much of event. So what I need, if someone clicks it, I need to do something. So there should be we need an event listener to do this. Okay. So we need an event listener. So how can, for that, what I need to do is I need to add an event listener to this button. So here comes the DOM properties. DOM works. Okay. DOM works. Okay. Before, there's two ways to add an event listener. We're going to see the easiest one, but we're going to use the second one also. That is going to be useful. So the easiest one is here in the button, you can add an attribute by using a prefix called on. If you type on here, you can able to see all the event listeners that are available in JavaScript. In HTML file, you can able to see. So the one of the event that we want is event listener that we want is on click. So what this on click event listener will do means if someone clicks it, it will execute a function, but we don't know what this function is. We're going to discuss it. So right now the event listener is added. So this is what missing is. If someone clicks it, something need to happen. So right now the event listener is added, but if someone clicks it, what I need to execute it? The listener is there, but there is no execution is there. So here we need to add a function. So let's see what is function is. So what is a function is? A function is basically how a variable stores data. A function stores a block of code, a statement. Okay. Basically, whenever I call the function, the block of code will execute and produce a result to me. That's what it is. Okay. A set of code, we can able to group it and we can able to hold it. So it seems like whenever you want to run a block of code, you can store it in a function and you can call the name of the function. It will be executed. Okay. It will be as simple as it can. So how to create a function? I just want to use a function keyword, and here I just going to say click me btn. So this is going to be the function name I'm giving. Whatever name you want to give, you can give it. Okay. And here this parenthesis, I will tell what is the parenthesis is used for, and here this is going to be the curly braces, right? Curly braces is basically the curly braces will be the thing that going to hold our block of code. This curly braces is called as block. So whatever the statement that you want to write it, you can write it here. If I say console.log, and if I ask, if I say hi, I am quick, okay, like this. You can see. Let's see it in the console. In console, I typed hi, I am clicked, but in console it is not printed. So what's happened? Well, whatever you are giving inside a function, it will be execute only you invoke the function. So how can we invoke the function? For that, you need to call button, the function name followed by this parenthesis. Don't forget this parenthesis. This parenthesis is the sign of invocation. Okay. So if I save it here, now you can see we are getting hi, I'm clicked. If I remove this one, you will not get it. If I just show, if I just execute here, it will give it. So what is happening here is, what is happening here? Well, we created a function that is going to hold a block of code, and whatever I want to execute, I can simply call the function name. It will be execute the code inside. Okay. So how many times you want to execute, you can just call it. It will be execute that much time. So now what I want to do is inside our HTML, I just want to paste this invocation. What is this? Click me btn. I just want to paste this. So what will happen is, so this click me btn, it will be invoked when someone clicks this button. Why it, how it is invoking? Because an event listener is added. So this on click wait for someone to click the button. If someone clicks it, it will invoke the function. Right now, if I save it, you can see in our console nothing is there. But if I go here and I clicked here, you can see we are getting an error, which means we made a typo. So let us go here. It is telling reference error. Click me button is not defined. Click me btn is not defined. So it is telling that there is no function like click me btn is there. So when I copy this, what is the typo we make is, you can able to see here I added a e. That's why. So now if I go here, if I click this, you can see hi, I am clicked. So the event is successfully added with an event listener. The event listener is going to invoke the function whenever someone clicks the button. For example, if I click it again, you can see how many times I'm clicking, that much time the function is get invoked. The count is, it will be showed here. You can see here, right? So this is how the event listener will be added. Okay. So now what I want to do is, if someone clicks it, I need to display all the information that we have in our database, right? I need to show all the information that in my database. Okay. I need to show it here. So how can I do this? Okay. So let me create a HTML. Here I just going to say div id container. Okay, I'm just going to save it here. Inside this container only we're going to save, like we're going to show everything. I'm just going to say slash container, and I just going to say width equal to 80% of the total screen, and I just going to say display going to be flex, and then flex wrap equal to wrap, and let us say justify content equal to center. That is the basics things. And I just want to, for knowing purpose, I just going to say border 1 pixel solid black. And you can able to see nothing is here. So I just want to give a mod height also. Right now I just going to give a default height. I'm just going to say height equal to 100 viewport. Okay, so the entire viewport height. And you can able to see here, this is fine, but it is not aligned center. So I'm just going to say here display X, and then flex direction column, and then align items center. That's it. And here let us give the more top property, just give 20 pixel. Okay, so that's it. That's it. Inside this container only, we're going to display all the attributes of TWD learners. Okay, just going to say border radius is going to be 8 pixel, like this. Okay, you can able to see here. So inside this bar, inside this only we're going to see it. So instead, I just going to say 80% of the report. Yeah, this is fine. So inside this, I want to display each and every person's name, and I want to display each and every person's what place. I want to display it here. Okay. So let me do one thing. I just here I just say first round achievers. Just add and hatch one. I just say first round achievers. Okay, like this. You can change the font if you want it based upon your need. Okay, right now we are not going to focus on the CSS. Okay, so we have added it. So now what I want, if someone clicks it, this function will be executed. So if someone clicks it, what I want to do is I just want to show, I just want to what we can say. Okay, so let me create the inner container. You that's going to be the inner container. That's going to be an inner container. I'm just going to say dot inner container. Okay. So this inner container, I want to add the name of the person and age of the person. So let me create a style code first. Okay, then we will move on. So for example, I just want to add an H1 that is going to be the name. So let us say the dummy name is going to be John. John and the age, and let me add the H3 is going to be the age of the person. Age is going to be 45. Okay, so you can have John, and here you can able to see this one also. So why it is creating that? Oh, it is flex. So what I want to do is here is I just want to add the CSS. Okay, so how I want to add? I just want to give dollar container. That's it. Hereafter we're not going to touch any CSS. This is the last CSS. Okay, so inner container, inner dash container. Okay, display flex, and flex direction equal to column. Okay, and here the container also I just want to say align items and then this align item center. I just want to say flex direction with column. Okay, and I remove this justify content. Yeah. Now it will be there, and we are having this and this H1, and then we are having the 46 also. Okay, so let me add here name. Okay, so here name is going to be there, and then John, then age equal to 46. Okay, like this here it will be there. And what I want to do, I just want to style the inner container. I just want to say border one pixel, so like this, and I just want to say work, which is going to be 80% of the total width. Okay, and by this, okay, it is centered aligned because of this H1. Okay, so let me add here and so we have this one, and this one, and yeah, this is fine. We can add the I think water box. Is fine. And let us add the water box. That's it. So this is that. So this is how we're going to display each and every person name. For example, first it is going to be John, and second it is going to be some other person, third, fourth, like this. Okay, we're going to display and with the space. Okay, let me add justify flex column, flex direction, align items, align content, space. Okay, one thing we can add the margin bottom also. Margin bottom. So only we can able to do 1, 2, 3, 4 items. Okay. So I just going to say 10 to 3. Okay. So this is what our pixel is. Okay. And remaining things you can increase the viewport height, then it will be increased. Okay. Like this. Then you can add as much as you want it, you can add. So this is our dashboard is going to be, and all other styling you can use it because we need to focus on the JavaScript. So now what we can add it. So now what I want to do, like how in CSS we will select something and we will give property and we will give value. If you want to do anything in JavaScript, you need to do the same thing. For example, if I want to select this div and I want to change the color of this div, first I need to grab the div. Okay, I need to grab the div and I want to I need to give a property like in CSS, whether it is a background color or cursor or anything like that we are giving, right? Like that, we need to give a no, we're going to fetch it. It is not fetched. We're going to fetch it now. After that only, we're going to replace everything and we're going to fetch it from the database. We created right now, right? So within this database, we're going to fetch it. This is dummy data right now. Okay. So what we're going to do, these all are just added for CSS purpose. Okay. So we are adding CSS only. So these data are dummy. We're going to come out of this one. Nothing is going to be there. And going to add manually. Okay, so this is for end result how it should be like that one. Okay, so like that here also you need to fetch the particular element and you need to give what is the property that you want to change and you need to give the value. Okay, so that's how you need to do it. So this is just a dummy data. So what is my original data? This is got my original data. So what I need to do, I need to create a schema like this. Okay, schema like this, and do with id inner container and h1 h3 age and something else like this. How can I create this? How can I create this? So let me copy this. This is going to be my let me say this is going to be my schema. I just going to say paste it here and I just going to comment off it. We need it. So first, what I want to do, let us understand the logic what we need to build is. The logic that we need to build is inside this inner HTML, inside this container, I want to put this inner containers, small inner containers. I want to put it here. Okay. So inside this container we have it. So let me add another div also. That div will contain this one. Okay. And let us give the ID as main container. Okay. And or we can change. Okay. So do one thing. We can put it here, save it, and let me add this as the main content. So inside this inner container only, inside this, remember we have a container and the container is contained two things, two childs. One is the h1 and we're going to have an inner container. And inside this inner container only, we're going to add the not card container. Okay, like this. So copy this one. We're going to add something like this. How we added here. Same like this, we're going to add it here. So in the app.js, we can add the schema. Okay, so we're going to add it. So first, what I need to do, I need to fetch the inner container. Why I want to fetch this inner container? Because inside this only I need to render all my database data. So whatever the data that I'm getting from the database, I just want to render it here only. So how can I do this? How can we do this? First, I need to get this element. I need to grab this div and I want to insert all the data inside it. So how can I do this means we have a DOM property to grab the element. So in CSS, how we have head tag, button tag, body tag, and we will select the element based on ID, based on class, like that we have, right? Same like this in DOM also, you can grab an element based on ID, based on tag, based on class selector. So here we're going to discuss about how to grab an element based on ID. Okay, because why ID? IDs are unique. It is only once. It is created only once. Okay, which means you can easily select a single element. So what you need to do is you need to use a method called document.getElementById. by ID. For example, just say const, and here it is going to be the container. I created a variable, and inside this variable, I'm going to grab the element and I'm going to store it. It's just going to be grabbing the element. For that, you need to use a method called document. Document is going to be the DOM object. So inside this, we have a method that is going to be the document or get element by ID. So what this method will do means this method fetch the element from the HTML and provide to us. So here it is going to be inner HTML, inner container. It's going to be the ID of the element, right? ID is going to be inner container. So now I'm just going to ask the console log what is container. Okay, to check whether the element is successfully grabbed or not. Just go and inspect it. If I click here, you can see console. If I save it, click here, you can see we are get the inner container, and the inner container we have the card container. So this is the data that we want to add. This is how the data we want to add. So right now we fetched it here, right? Right now we fetched this element. Now what I want to do, I need to add something inside this container. Inside this container, I need to add something. So for that, what you need to do, first you need to select the container. CSS, how you are giving property and then value, that is called as decoration. Same like this, here you need to mention what property that you're going to do. Whether you're going to manipulate the content or going to manipulate the CSS, you need to tell it. So now I want to manipulate this data, this dummy data, right? I just want to manipulate it. So how can I use this? I can use dot inner HTML. So this inner HTML is exactly like the property that we give here. Font size, font weight, same like this. If you want to change the content of the element, then you need to use a property called inner HTML. So here the content is going to be high. So if I save it, and if someone clicks it, you can able to see the entire content inside the inner container is changed to high. You can able to see that, right? So initially what we are having the div, and that div, if I click it, you can able to see it is changed to high because this entire thing is removed and high is just added. So that's what happened. So now what I want to do, I don't want to add high here. So what I want to add, I want to add this element that we copied. So if I paste it here, let us remove this comments. Okay, and if I try to add this one, you can able to see John. Let me give John Joe and like this. Friends, we are getting an error. So where is the error is coming? The error is coming from 97. So here the error is coming. Okay, so whatever value that you are giving, it should be inside a quotation. Okay, so I just say single quotes. You can able to see still the error is showing. You can see the underscore is there, right? Why means because whenever you are giving a single line of value, the quotations, double quotes and single quotes will take place. But here it is a multiple line values, right? So these single quotes and double quotes are pretty old one. So instead of this one, you can use backticks. So what is backticks? You can able to find the backticks above the tab button. Okay, so backticks is also whatever you are giving inside backticks, that is also string, but here there is a lot of advantages is there. Okay, so it will just add, we can able to add multiple things inside the container. Okay, if I save it, you can see if I click here, John is changed to Johan. So I just going to remove this one right now. Removed it, nothing is there. You can see the container is nothing. Right now we have no containers. If I click it here, we can able to see Johan is added. If I click it again, already added Johan. So the same thing is here. Okay, we need to change a little bit CSS because we changed the CSS this thing. So that is why we need to change that one. We will change that one. Okay. So what I want to do is we added it here, but still the data is not coming from the database. It is where how it is coming from. So it is coming from statically. I give Johan, it is coming Johan. If I here I just give my name and my name, it is going to be show my name once someone clicks it, right? So I don't want here. I want to get the name from the here. So how can I get it? Well, there is another advantage with the backticks is you can able to do JavaScript work inside this. How means simply you need to add a $sign and curly braces like this. So here you can able to perform JavaScript functionality. So it is not a string. Now inside this bracket you can able to perform JavaScript. For example, I say 6 multiplied by 7. You can able to get result 22. Here you can able to see here, right? So this is also you can able to do this. So now what I want is here I want to access the name of my student. So how can I do this? Learners is the array. I just going to say learner is going to be the array, and that array in 0th index is an object. I want the name of the person. So now if I save it, if I click it, you can see the name of the person is came. Same like that, I need to get the, instead of age, it is going to be the place. Just replace it with place. And I just going to copy this one. And I just going to paste it here. And here instead of name, I just want to say place. Okay. Now if I click it, you can see where, let us give a space here. If you click it, you can see we received name of Ravindran and coming from the place of Andhra Pradesh. So we have done it, but only one person name is here. So I just want to render all the person name. So for that, what can I do? Well, if I change the indexes 1, if I change 1, then you can able to see Anand. Sorry, I think I made a mistake. Anda, like that I made. And you can able to see Kerala. And here I just say 2. And every time if I increase the indexes, then you can able to see the different data that we are fetched from here. So I need to display everything. So what can I do is we can create a loop. So this process is called as iteration. So what is meant by iteration? So running a particular task in each and every element in an array. So that is called as iteration. So let us create a loop. So what is loop is running a certain like particular task again and again repeatedly. That is called as loop. So how can we create this? I want to create a variable that is going to be the initiation. Let I equal to 0. And here I just going to create use while loop. And let me explain how it works means plus plus. Here I just say I value is less than 10. I value is less than 10. Console.log. So what we are doing is the one thing that you need to remember here is if you are creating a loop, okay, so the loop is going to execute a particular task again and again for a particular number of time, okay, repeatedly. So you should create a finite loop. So what is meant by finite loop is your loop should be stopped at certain point of time. For example, it should be stopped at 10, it should be stop after the loop is run for 20 minutes, 20 times or 1000 times. It should be stop at some point. If you create an infinite loop, then what will happen is your browsers, it will execute, keeps on executing again and again. The browser started to overload and it is started to hang, and your entire application will be crashed. That's what happened. So now I go here and I click the inspect icon. So once I click this button, you can able to see what has happened. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, 8. So something has happened. What has happened? So this is because of this loop. What is happening here is I created a initiation, that is the variable, let I equal to 0, and I'm checking for a condition. Okay, I value is less than 10. So what is the value of I? Is going to be 0. So 0 is less than 10. What it will return? It is going to return true. So if it is true, then it will go inside this and it will execute the code. If it is false, then it will not execute the code. And remember that I value is going to be 0 and 0 is always less than 10. So which means we are creating an infinite loop. So we need to make this loop as finite. So what can I do is, once the code execution is completed, whatever I want to execute, the completed, I just say I plus plus. So what this plus plus is going to do means, it is an increment operator. It will increase the value of I by 1 time. So the first time the loop runs, the value of I is 0 and the value increased to 2 plus 1. So which means I value now increased to 1. So the second time loop runs, I value is not 0. I value is 1. Okay. So each and every time the loop is going to increase the value. So that is why I logged the console.log I. You can able to see the console.log I right here. And you can able to see 0, 1, 2, 3. Every time the I value is increased. And here you can able to see this is what we need. In indexes, first time I need to render 0, second time I need to render 1, third time I need to render 2, like that each and every time I need to increase the value. So what can I do now? Well, we can put the whole code inside the loop. And instead of giving accessing the array statically, we can give I here because the I value is going to increase. Okay. So now if I save it, if I click this, you can able to see cannot read the property of undefined name. So what has happened? What has happened? So what's happened is here the loop is going to run for 10 times, but I have only 5 items in my array. So after 5th item, 6th one is not there. 6th item is not there. So what I want to do is I just want to make length is going to be 5. Now if I render it and if I click it, you can see we are not getting any error, but this is not a good way. Why? Because in future, if someone has added any other information, for example, one more information is added. Okay, so what will happen? Instead of Vijay, I just say like any name, Rahul. So what will happen? I need to come to the code and I need to change this to 6. That is not a good way, right? Because this is coming from backend. I'm here using it in front end. I'm not comma every time and I'm not able to change it in the production server. So what I need to do is I need to fetch the items in the array dynamically. So how can I fetch it? Well, we know we have the length property. So how to fetch that one is you need to call the learners. I just say call the array learners dot length. So this will dynamically give the length property. And remember that the length of the array is always greater than 1 times than the indexes. So if it is the length is 5, the index is going to be 4. So likewise, it is going to loop through the element till the last item is rendered. Okay. So now if I save it, if I click it, you can able to see we are getting wrong. But you can see another thing, weird thing, right? What is that weird thing? We are getting only one information. That information is the last one. So what is happening? Well, what is the inner HTML will do? The inner HTML is going to replace the old value with the new value, right? Whatever the content that inside this inner HTML, it will take and it will add a new value to it. So that is what happening. The first time the first value is added, and the second time the loop runs, the first values get replaced by the second value. Like that, it is added. So now What is the purpose of container in 100th line? So container is the variable that we fetched, like inside this container only, inside this inner container only, we need to add it, right? So I need to tell which container I need to add the content. So container, it contains, it is the variable that contains the HTML element, this element. Okay. So inside this only, I need to put this code. So that is why this is the property. So same selector, property, value. Yeah, while loop container, that's what I'm saying. Container is the selector, property, and then value, right? Same like this. This container is the variable that contains the what? Contains the HTML, this div. Okay, so I selected the container, and for this container, I need to change the inner HTML. So that is why the container is the variable. That variable contains the HTML div, and in that inner HTML, I need to change it, and value is this value I need to put inside this. Okay, so this container is the variable. We stored it here. We grabbed an element from HTML, right? We stored it in a container, and that's we stored it inside here. Okay, clear? Yeah. So yeah, that is what happening. So that's what happening. What is happening? Every time the container is getting replaced. I don't want to replace. I want to append the element. So then how can I do this? Well, just give a plus equal to. So what this will do means it will append the values. So what is meant by appending the values? It is called as assignment operator. So instead of replacing the old value, so it will keep the old value and it will add the new value with the old value. That's what it will do. So now if I save it and I go and if I click here, you can able to see something like this. All the values from our database are listed. You can see Rahul Tamil Nadu and Latish from Karnataka. Everything is listed. Only the CSS is something is disturbed, right? So this is because we added here the inner container and the code container. We changed it. Let me remove this one to code container. Code container. Okay, and here let me add the border 1 pixel. This one we need to add it here, and margin bottom 3 pixel. This one we need to add it here. And if I save it and let us refresh, click here, code. Okay, and then border radius is also here. Adding this is also for this container. Okay, what we changed, adding. Okay, plus direction, which element, inner container. Okay, I think okay. That's it. You can able to see the containers, cards, and everything. So what we have did, so the container is going to be the container that contains nothing. Okay, so the place where we want to add everything. So we fetched the element, and if someone clicks it, so initially it will be nothing. So nothing is here, it is empty. And if someone clicks here, we will get all the achievers of the list that we showed here. And how it is showing, so we are get the container where I want to add everything, and I just going to look through each and every items in my database, and I just going to, with the help of the length property, we are loop throughing dynamically. So if I added a new value, it is automatically looped through. I don't want to change again and again. And I'm saying container dot inner HTML. So what this inner HTML will do means it will change the content inside the container. So inside this container, nothing will be there. So it is changed. and here we used the assignment operator because I want to every time we looped through it, every time we looped through it, we just want to what? We just want to append the elements. So that is why we are looped through this one, and we added each and every value in the array. So if someone added an extra value, okay, and another value, okay, and I just say finish, okay, and if someone clicks it, you can see this is happens because of the viewport. It's going to be 100. Okay. So now you can able to see Vignesh here, and you can see Vignesh is also added, and each and every time the loop is like we are adding, so the loop will keeps on going and it will be added here, and based on that only we style it. The exact same flow that you will use when you want to integrate your backend with your frontend. So this application, it will come from the database in an API in a different format. You need to convert the format into something exactly like array nested object. Once you converted array nested object, then you need to look through each and every item, and you need to this backticks, and this is called as template literals, and you need to just access each and every element what all they want, and then you need to store it. So instead of this information, if you want to create create your own database for e-commerce application or an or on any other streaming platform, so create your own database and use the same process and create a user interface. So right now, with the help of this, you can able to create what you can able to create this. If you want to create a clone of Netflix, you want to create a clone of Amazon, you can able to do this. Okay, so the exact same thing. So you're going to style it for only one time, and all other things is going to be looped through. So how each and every box is looped through, you need to loop through each and every containers, every chords. Okay, if you still have doubts and you want to do this one, then what you need to do, this one is already I created the exact same procedure. We created an social media application, we created an e-commerce application also. So you can take a look at that and you can create it. And once you done this one, you can add it to your portfolio also, and that is also pretty helpful. Okay, so you can please share the GitHub link of this project or but yes, Ravindra Kumar, this file, if you want any resources that we want to add, like if you want it means, join our I think most of you already coming from the WhatsApp group only, right? Ask it in the WhatsApp group and you will get the links from that. Okay, from that group. Okay, so you will get it. The social media manager will be provided that too. Okay, so yes, that's it for today. So yeah, be in the line. I will share you the attendance form. Okay, and you can fill the attendance form also. So the last attendance form is filled. And one more thing, there is an announcement from our side is, so the TWD, we like people who are following us, you know that we are conducting our personal bootcamp also. So the last month batch is going to be end. So in the month of May, it will be in the month of June, it will be completed. So the new batch is also opened. I will share you the details about the new batch. You can able to join with our, if you want to take our personal trainings and if you want to learn from us. It is a personal bootcamp, paid bootcamp. If you like to, you can join here and you can get it here. So all the information is also included in the first video of this link. Okay, you can have a look into it. I think someone of you asked about the course that in our website, so you can use the link. Okay, you can use the link, align together this link. So it will be the course will be, this will be starts from June, I think. Yeah, June 5. The next batch is going to be start. If you like to learn from us, you can join this boot camp and you can learn from us. And whatever, if you have any other doubts regarding this boot camps and personal boot camps, anything, you can still ask it in the WhatsApp group. There will be a separate social media manager will be there, and he will help you and he will guide you, and all other details and everything he will provide you. Okay, so yeah, any doubts or anything that you want to share, you can share it in the chat box and I will reply to you. We have 5 more minutes. After that, the session will be ended. So if you have any other doubts and anything that you want to call, you can ask. Okay. And this link, you can just go the personal bootcamp link. Just go inside the link, watch the first video. There will be a video where Nabidu Biswa sir will tell about all the information about the bootcamp procedures and how it, what are the timings and everything. It will be said, and how to do and everything. It will be said. You can check out the video, or else you can directly join us in the WhatsApp group. So if you want to join us in the WhatsApp group, let me share you the WhatsApp group also. If you are coming newly, I will share you the WhatsApp group. So if you are not in WhatsApp group, you can join the WhatsApp group also, and you can ask. The group link is also shared, and you can ask whatever the doubts and queries that you like to ask. You can ask it in the WhatsApp group also. And those who all want the certification, please fill the form. Once you filled, just tell it in the chat box. I am filled like that. Anything, we will confirm with them. Okay, and you will receive the attendance form before Monday evening, like certification before Monday or Monday evening. Okay. So that information also shared in the group. Okay, when we are receiving the certificate and everything shared in the group. And make sure that I think it is the third attendance form, or you know, this is second or third attendance form. Second attendance, right? So the second attendance form, you need to fill all the two attendance to get the certification. Okay, if you missed any one of them, you will not get any certification. So make sure if you want to fill all the two attendance form. Okay, so the first one is already shared during the class starts, and here it's the second attendance form. So if you want to share anything, you can share it. Or you have any other doubts also, you can ask me now. Okay, guys, I hope that everyone filled the attendance form. Okay, so please fill the attendance form. If you missed anything in between, like in between, if you are not able to watch it, if you missed anything, if you want to watch it again, you can watch it, because this recording will be in our YouTube channel, and the live chat is also enabled. You can just watch the recordings and get your certification and everything. Thank you all. Thank you so much.